Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by CacheFly. CacheFly.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Radio Networks on Saturday, November 30th, 2013. This is episode 1035. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Gazelle, the fast and simple way to sell your used gadgets. Find out what your used iPhone, iPad, or other Apple product is worth at Gazelle.com. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. What do they call this? Semi-gloss Saturday? What is it? The day after Black Friday. That's what this is. And this is the day after Black Friday, DABF show, the DABF show. We'll talk about computers. Okay, show of hands. How many of you bought computers on Black Friday? 3 of you? Yeah. Cell phones. I bet you a few people bought cell phones. We can talk about home theater. Sure. Big screen TVs, surround sound. In fact, at 12:30, I'm sorry. Did I say 12:30? It is meaningless. At half past the hour, 33 1/3 after the hour to be precise, Scott Wilkinson, our home theater guru, will join us. That's more meaningful, isn't it? What else do we talk about? We talk about tablets. You bet. 2 days to Cyber Monday. Another made-up day. Actually, Black Friday is not a made-up day. Wow, I saw some of the videos of the street fights inside Walmart and so forth. That's crazy. Did you go, Phone Ranger Heather Hammond? Did you run to the stores? Did you go to Walmart on Black Friday?
Of course not.
It's Black and Blue Saturday for some of those folks. Holy cow.
Hope they picked up an ice pack while they were out.
I saw one where a guy tased another person in the store on the floor. These women are fighting and then,
I feel like the media has sort of created, it's this self-fulfilling prophecy that there's a certain sort of person that will go because they're looking for a fight and they're looking to get on TV or YouTube.
You're absolutely right. It's a Maury Povich event.
Yeah. I don't know why
it's a Jerry Springer
exactly.
holiday. Anybody who would go on the Jerry Springer show and throw a chair would go to Black Friday. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I
Maybe
just don't
not.
know.
It just seems
anyone.
why you don't get such a great. Is it such a great deal that it's worth tasing somebody over?
It's not even worth the wait in line or leaving your house or anything.
To me, get up at 3 a.m. for 35% off a TV. Come on.
The weather here was beautiful. Like, go play outside. Are you kidding?
Well, I did the equivalent of a Black Friday. I went to the wineries on Friday, and they're just as they're crazy too. And they're all having sales, and the places were jammed.
Oh, good. So,
we live up, this show is done from the wine country, if you didn't notice, of Northern California. And that's not really why we chose this for our studio. But it is convenient. Thank you for the giant donut, by the way, Heather. Holy cow. Welcome. So there's a whole reason why I have a giant donut. First of all, yesterday was my birthday. Black Friday was my birthday. Second of all, I have mentioned several times, and I'm going to stop mentioning it, that Electronic Arts owes me 1,400 donuts. That's how many donuts were still in my account when my Simpsons tapped out stopped working, and they, despite many exchanges with tech support, have never fixed it. You owe me but one giant, how big is that? That's as big as my head.
It's 14 donuts.
You shouldn't eat a donut as big as your head. That's just crazy talk. So thank you, Heather.
Sure.
For giving me a birthday present no one has ever given me before.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What do you buy for the man that has everything?
I didn't even know they made donuts as big as my head.
Bob's does.
Is it Bob's Big Boy?
No, it's just a
Bob's Big
Donut shop in San Francisco.
Wow.
In fact, people were saying it's, Small Business Saturday in the chat room, and so
That's what American Express would like you to say.
Right. Well, right. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. I don't, give them a plug. What the heck? American Express made that holiday up. Most holidays are made up by Hallmark. Might as well make one up by American Express. That's okay. And I think it's actually a good idea. Shop your local retailer, since they won't be around much longer anyway. If you don't, I'll put it this way. If you don't shop your local retailer, they won't be around much longer anyway. I still can't get dry cleaning done at Amazon. I wouldn't want to order a Frappuccino via mail. There's certain things, but a bookstore, we still have a bookstore in Petaluma. I really think about this a lot because there has to be something we call it brick and mortar, a real world store can do to compete against the online stores. And there is only one thing, I think. Service. Right? Providing something that you can't get online. So a human being who will walk up and say, well, let me help you. Or maybe events. Making a social event to go there. I think a bookstore is a good candidate for that because, truthfully, it doesn't make sense to go to a bookstore. That you can get it from Amazon day after tomorrow. Chances are they'll have it. It's always a risk you go to a bookstore. Well, you don't have that. We can order it for you. I've actually done this. Gone to the bookstore to support my local bookstore. We don't have it. We can order it for you. We'll have it in a week. But I can have it tomorrow from Amazon. It's a tough sell. On the other hand, if you make it a great social experience, you go, you sit, you read, maybe you buy a book. Don't you think there's a way to survive? I hope so, because I love the idea of having a bookstore in town. Don't have any more video stores. And Blockbuster closed its last 300 stores a couple of weeks ago. And that was it on that. Nobody buys. I guess if you do want a DVD, you just go down to the 7-Eleven, right? The red box out front. They only have the big movies, but that's all most people want, I guess. I love the idea of having a downtown, somewhere to go, somewhere people are, somewhere shopping. And you got to figure it out because we don't want our downtowns to be ghost towns. But local business can provide a unique customer experience. One of the issues, of course, that some businesses have brought up is the idea of showrooming. Did you do any showrooming this holiday season? That's the idea that you'll go to a Best Buy, for instance, and you'll get the customer support and service and ask them lots of questions. And they'll finally help you narrow it down to the tablet or computer or smartphone you want. And then you go, thank you very much, and you order it on Amazon. It's interesting, though. The CEO, I think it was of Best Buy, said, I don't have to worry about this. In fact, it's an opportunity for us. If we get the customer in the store and we don't sell them, that's our fault. Not Amazon's fault. In fact, this story from the Wall Street Journal was last month, but I think appropriate. With 4 weeks to go before Thanksgiving, big box retailer Best Buy is running television ads that says the store is the ultimate holiday showroom. Yes, come on in. We will be your showroom. Last year, everybody was worried that Best Buy was losing sales to online retailers at alarming rates. In fact, it really hurt the Best Buy stock. Best Buy CEO made it his top priority to combat showrooming. And the current CEO, Hubert Joly, began his tenure a year ago. He says, I love showrooming. I don't know if he speaks with a French accent. With a name like Hubert Joly, he probably should. I love the showrooming. Oh, it's beautiful. And in fact, he says, he said, a year ago, people said showrooming would kill Best Buy. I think Best Buy has killed showrooming. People, he says, if they come in the store and they buy somewhere else, that's just because we didn't do our job. Of course, they got to get the price close. It doesn't have to be as low as an online retailer. Nowadays, with Amazon starting to charge sales tax in almost every state, that's a 5 to 10% difference that's gone. You still have to have shipping, and you won't get it for a few days. You go in a showroom, you go in a Best Buy, you can pick it up that day, take it home. And if the price is close, I think it has to be within maybe 10, 15%, right? Are you going to be willing to pay a little bit more? The NPD group said that last year, 27% of consumer electronics spending was online. And that's up, of course. 40% of U.S. shoppers say they have tested products in stores before buying them online. Did you do any showrooming yesterday? Yesterday's the worst day to do it. Don't do Black Friday, don't showroom. Jolie said, we love traffic on our site, in our stores, and we don't want to lose a customer because of price, but we don't feel we need to be lower than the competition. We think if we can get you in the store, our service will sell you. And I think that that's true. I think that that's true. I hope that that's true. What do you think? Did you showroom this holiday season? 8888 Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Yes, there's a giant donut to my left. 8888 Ask Leo. I'll help you if you have a Black Friday purchase you can't figure out how to use, or if you've got a Cyber Monday purchase you'd like to make. We do like spending your money. I love to help you do that. 8888 Ask Leo. We also have, of course, a website, techguylabs.com. It is perfectly okay to come to the show, to listen to the show, to ask questions, and then use our website. We forgive you. It is not showrooming. techguylabs.com. Actually, everything we mention will be there, including during the break we were talking about the shopkeeper's law, which is in the Torah. See, this has been a problem apparently from time immemorial. This issue of going into a store. The shopkeeper's law in the Torah is a rule: one must not ask a merchant about a product unless he or she is actually considering purchasing the product in question from that store. I think it makes sense. It's taking somebody's time. That's a form of theft. But I think if you're a good shopkeeper, you say this is an opportunity. Yes, I know they're, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson are looking at this camera, and they're going to ask me a lot of questions, and they may well go buy it somewhere else. But you know what? If I do a really great job and they like me, there's also this feeling of obligation, isn't there? That maybe they have to buy. I always feel that. I always feel like I have to buy something if I waste somebody's time. You just have to do it. Heather Hammond, our phone ranger, has stacked them up, lined them up. They're in the chute. Which cow should I take for? Which caller should I take for? I was joking.
Well,
joking.
Nelson in Tampa, Florida, was playing right into our hands as far as what should I buy?
All right. Hey, Nelson, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
Very well. What can I do for you today?
Well, my question here is that I'm looking to maybe purchase a refurbished 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's a 2013 model, so I know it has, I guess, the newer processor. I think it's a Haswell or something like that.
Let me give you my rule on refurbs. There's nothing wrong with refurbs because, at least in California and I think many other states, there's a law that once a customer opens the box, it cannot be sold as new. For a long time, especially in electronics retailers would take it back, charge the customer a restocking fee, and then sell it as new. And it is new. So a refurb is in many cases anyway, merely that. Somebody bought it, they had some regrets, they returned it. That means it's unused in many cases. But this is my advice on refurbs. Buy it from the original manufacturer. Make sure that it has the original warranty, and it's best if it's a model they're currently selling.
Okay.
If you do now, of course, if you do all of that, you're going to get less of a discount. Apple does have an outlet store, a refurb store. And it's only usually a few $100 but a few $100 is good.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. That sounds pretty good. I appreciate that, Leo. Thank you.
You're welcome, yeah. And I'll tell you why. I won't name the retailer. But I went into a store once that sells a lot of electronic stuff. And I was talking to the salesman, and he revealed to me something that kind of shocked me. They sold, this store, refurbed hard drives. And in their case, refurbished really meant refurbished. This was a hard drive that was malfunctioning. They got back in the store, and they kind of, I don't know what they did, opened it up and dusted it out, blew it out with some canned air and closed it up again. I would not recommend buying a refurbished hard drive from anybody, especially not the original manufacturer. But if you're getting it from the original manufacturer and you're getting it with a full warranty and it's a late model, I think a refurb is a great idea. A refurbished hard drive, I think, under no circumstances is a good idea. I was shocked this company actually was refurbishing hard drives. That makes no sense. Jonathan in Rancho Cucamonga, I guess. It says Rancho Cuckoo. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Leo. Hey, I've made it a hobby over the years of making my home videos into DVDs, and I stopped doing that a few years back. And now it seems like it's a new world, and I'd like to get back into it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Not DVDs anymore, though, right?
Yeah, right. So my family has their iPods and Kindles, and
right. Put it on. You know, one thing you could do is that's not a bad idea is put it on YouTube privately. You don't have to. If people think YouTube, it must be public. You can put videos on YouTube that are private, that are only accessible to people you want to share it with, and that's always a good idea, because YouTube is pretty easy for almost everybody. Not the iPod folks, but almost everybody else. The problem with making a video available for download is that there is a very big difference in what a Kindle can do or should do and an iPod. You make one that plays on all of those devices, it'll look terrible on everything but the iPod, because the iPod is so underpowered that it can barely play anything. Is it iPod Touch or it must be an iPod Touch, right?
We've got iPhones, iPod Touches, right. Kindles.
Are they all online?
Yeah, they're all online. I mean, through the Wi-Fi, we've got a home network, and so I was thinking about getting some kind of a storage device.
Oh, yeah. So if they're all in the same house on the same network, that's absolutely another way to do it. What kind of Wi-Fi access spot do you have?
It's a fairly new one. I bought it in the last few months.
Look in the back. A lot of them nowadays support a hard drive. You'll have a USB plug where you can put a USB hard drive on it. And that hard drive will be so then it effectively is a shared hard drive. It's in effect network attached storage. It's the cheapest way to go. If your Wi-Fi access spot supports a hard drive, all the Apple ones do. You just plug it in on the back, and in the settings there'll be a way to share that hard drive, and then it'll show up as a network hard drive to every device. Let's think about the iPod. Might not show up for the iPod. It'll show up for every computer. Might not for iOS, because iOS is kind of funny that way. If you want it to show up on iOS, you probably do need to get a network-attached storage device that supports iTunes Media Server. So this is when it gets really ridiculous. But Windows has a media server, iTunes has a media server, and then there are kind of more traditional standard media servers. Many network-attached storage devices. A good one I like is the Synology, Synology, will have those media servers. You'll have to turn them on in the settings. And then any movies on that hard drive will appear to be in iTunes, shared from iTunes. So that'll work for the iPod and the iPad and the iPhone. And then for computers, it'll just show up as a shared hard drive, and you can see them that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's if it's all local, that's probably the best way to do it, because you can have higher quality, you can have a variety of qualities, all kinds of stuff. Setting up a media server is a little bit of work. Chat room's telling me that we did a show on it, Know How Episode 4. So that would be twit.tv/KH4. We do a podcast called Know How that shows you how to do stuff like that. Setting up a media server. Hey, coming up, speaking of media, our home theater expert, Scott Wilkinson, the guy with the Santa Claus beard and the Santa Claus laugh. We'll talk about home theater, and we'll take more of your calls, too. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. I am Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our funk soul brother, Scott Wilkinson, is here.
Or should I say,
Scott Santa Claus Wilkinson. He's our home theater guru. He writes is actually editorial director at avsforum.com and does a regular Home Theater Geek podcast every Monday on our Twit network. Hello, Scotty.
Hey, Leo.
Who's coming up?
Happy gobble to you.
Happy gobble gobble. Do you have guests for the coming weeks, or it's getting hard, I'm sure?
Oh, no. Actually, I got them all lined up, actually.
Who's Monday?
This coming Monday is one of my favorite AV journalists. His name is Steve Guttenberg. He's been on the show before.
I like him, yeah.
He's really good. And what we're going to be talking about this time is the difference between the best possible sound system for listening to music versus listening to movie soundtracks.
Good.
And they're not necessarily the same. I mean, you can get good quality out of one system, and that's one thing I'm certainly going to ask him about. How do you optimize one system for both? Because not a lot of us can afford two separate systems.
Right.
There are those who can and those who do. They have a listening room and a movie room, but most of us can't really afford that.
So did you go out on Black Friday yesterday and check out the action?
No, I didn't.
Me neither.
I was a scaredy cat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Now, I
mostly
did
it's
know-
safe, but you do see all the news stories about the tasers and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about that. I was just worried about, traffic and parking and getting jostled.
Yeah.
I did happen to notice on Thursday, on Thanksgiving night, we drove past a Toys R Us, not my field, but there was this huge, long line waiting to get in.
Yeah.
I just went, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So you talked last week about some pretty good deals on TVs. I imagine a few people went out and bought TVs. This is probably a big season for that. Yeah.
This and the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is going to be even bigger.
Right. It's funny because you act as if there's a Super Bowl. Oh, I better go get a TV. Like you didn't know it was coming. What? You waited to the last minute. What?
You had a year to get this TV.
I hear there's this big football game. I better go get a TV. What is your favorite TV these days?
Well, I have to say my favorite TV is still plasma, and we know that it's on its way out. And a lot of people might go, well, gosh, the plasmas are on their way out. I really shouldn't get one because it's a dying technology. But if you're concerned about picture quality, as I am, and you don't have a tremendous amount of ambient light in the room or a window like right opposite the TV, and you watch a lot during the day, if you watch at night, no big deal. But plasma might not be your best choice.
Because it's not as bright as an LCD.
It's not as bright, and it always has a very shiny screen.
Right.
The front of the glass of the screen is always very shiny. Whereas with LCD TVs, sometimes they are more of a matte finish.
Now, it's in my opinion, and you have the same choice often in computing too. In my opinion, glossy is better. In order to make it matte, they have to kind of reduce the transparency of it.
That's correct. And the LCD TVs that have a glossy finish often do because the manufacturer says it gives you better blacks.
I think it does, and I
think it does. Yeah, I agree.
Certainly on a computer it does. It's annoying because you have to on a computer arrange the screen in such a way you don't get reflected light. But a TV, you're not moving it around all the time. You could probably find a good positioning for the TV.
Well, you hopefully could. I've talked to an awful lot of people though who say, well, this is the only place in the room where I can put the TV.
Yeah, then you might have to get an LCD.
And that may be the case. If you got sliding glass doors all around or an open room into another room or something like that, then maybe. The same question also comes up when people say, well, I've got to put the TV over the fireplace. And I always say, don't do it.
You're going to get a crick in your neck looking up.
You're going to get a crick in your neck. Exactly right. And that's the real problem. A lot of people think that, putting the TV over the fireplace
it's less intrusive.
Because it's going to get hot.
Oh,
it's nicer. It's not going to get hot. Not if the fireplace is built properly. I mean, if there's heat being transferred from the flue, from the area that the heat's going up to your TV, then there's something wrong with the way that it's built.
Okay.
Now, if the fireplace has a radiator in front of it, like, you've seen some fireplaces that have like a glass
mine does.
Panel
it
in front of
blows hot air. Yeah.
And actually, it then radiates heat back into the room. If you don't have that, or say a metal one, like a wrought iron or something, heat actually gets sucked out of the room and up the chimney.
Yeah.
So you build a fire in the room, and it actually gets colder.
If we put it up high and we tilted it forward so it's aimed at our eyeballs, would that be okay?
No, it's still not very good.
Because you still have to turn your head up.
You have to crane your neck. You have to look upward. Yeah. Exactly right. And you don't want to do that for a 2 hour.
No, I want to sit. I want to slump in a chair, preferably.
Now, I suppose if you were in a recliner,
which I am. My feet are up.
And you were reclined back so that as your head is kind of normally...
I guess I could do that, yeah.
You could do that then. There are some mounts that actually bring the TV out and down, which is very cool. Yeah. But they're pretty expensive. Right. They're like in the couple $1,000s.
Plus, you got to have an installer come in, and it's
exactly.
A big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So take out the fireplace and put a TV in its place.
And I've talked to a bunch of people, and in some cases, it really is the only place in the room.
Yeah.
To put the TV, and I go, well, okay, if that really is the only place, then that's what you got to do.
You said plasma. Is there a plasma brand you like? I know Panasonic's going out of business. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Panasonic is the one to get.
I'm sorry, they're not
fact,
going out of business. They're going to stop making plasmas.
They're going to stop making plasmas, but they've made plasmas for 2013. It's going to be weird at CES to go to the Panasonic booth and not see any plasmas.
They're still making LCDs?
Oh yeah, and they're ramping up on that big time. In fact.
And how about OLEDs? Who makes OLEDs? Just Samsung and LG at this point?
Samsung and LG. That's it. We're going to see a bunch of them at CES.
You do expect to see them at the Consumer Electronics Show. That's just a few weeks. That's next in January.
I know. It's just the beginning of January. Yeah. Now, Samsung, I believe, has announced that they're going to have a bunch of TVs that are curved. Now, you remember we've talked about curved screens on the show before.
So silly.
I'm not a fan of curved screens.
So silly. Mine is only curved 5%.
Right, which isn't too bad. And if you get in the, if you're at the right height, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And I hope that you've gotten a lower credenza or a higher couch or both.
Scott came and adjusted my TV. He said, but I haven't. Let me write a prescription for you for a higher couch or a lower credenza. My TV's too high. I did tilt it forward because, that silly stand that Samsung puts it on tilts it back. So I put a book under there, so it's leaning forward, and it's now flat plane. No, it's pretty stable. It's stable. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
hope for no earthquake.
No. Well, if there's an earthquake, I'm gone.
Everything goes anyway.
I'm goner.
But most people are going to get an LCD TV with LED backlighting.
And those look darn good, don't they?
And they look darn good. Yeah. I'm working. In fact, next week I should have up a buying guide on AVS Forum that will have my list of favorite LED TVs.
Good.
In different price ranges too, and I'll tell you more about that next week.
I think it makes sense unless you're really finicky to buy an LCD at this point.
Yeah. I have to agree. Now, LCDs, of course, have a number of problems that they've implemented fixes for, but plasmas don't have those problems to begin with, which is one reason why I like them better.
Last week, somebody asked me, and I said, you got to get plasma. I went on for a half an hour, and then he said, well, there's one problem. I live at a high altitude in New Mexico. I can't get plasma. They're altitude sensitive, aren't they?
That's correct. Yep, that is correct.
Because there's gas in the cells.
Exactly. And when you go high altitude, then the gas expands, and it becomes a problem. They tend to buzz more.
Does the color become inaccurate?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. Some companies used to make high altitude plasmas. That were specific for that.
Scott Wilkinson, avsforum.com. Tune in the Home Theater Geeks on Monday, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Scotty.
You bet.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls right after this. They really like CNET really likes the ZT60. That's the new one they announced at CES, right?
No. ZT60 is the flagship Panasonic plasma.
We just celebrated the second anniversary.
That's what I meant. Yeah. But that was the new one we saw. Yeah.
It's a fabulous. I do have a plasma buying guide up on AVS Forum
right
now.
Okay.
And that is it's the most expensive one of the 5 that I chose as the absolute best plasmas.
CNET said buy it because this is your last chance.
Yep.
Panasonic getting out of the business is the reason to get it. It's why I bought my Kuro, exactly right? Because it was the last of the Kuros. And I have a VT60. But I'm happy with it.
You have a VT50 actually.
No. It's a 65.
Oh, did you get a 60?
It's a 65.
Oh, a 65-incher. Yeah, but I thought it was last year's model.
Yeah.
So it's a 65 VT50.
Okay.
This year's model is the VT60.
Got it.
And that's the last of the Panasonic plasmas. The VT60, the ZT60, the ST60.
Right.
But I agree with CNET. If you've got some control of your ambient light,
right,
and it's it's not going to be reflections aren't going to be a problem.
It's somebody's asking what I did with it. It's the living room TV. The OLED's in my den. That's for me.
Yes,
the OLED's for me.
Your den is your man cave.
Yes, it's for me. So I'll let you talk.
I'd be happy to. Bad Luck 13 is asking, do we need to worry about LCDs at different altitudes? No, the answer is no, because there's no gas in them. It's simply light passing through different solid layers of stuff. LCDs, polarizing filters, color filters. So there's no problem with LCDs at altitude. There is with plasma, unfortunately. So the altitude problem, Jay, is that there's gas in these tiny little cells, and when you get up high, the gas expands, probably goes to some greater pressure in those cells. Things start to buzz. It's really not a problem. It really is a problem, I should say. Jeff N says, Seiki now has a 39-inch 4K TV. Wow, that's a lot of pixel density. And you're right, it is a lot of pixel density, but it's not important in a TV. Now, if you're going to use that thing as a computer monitor at 2 feet away, yes, absolutely. That's going to be great. That's going to be like a Apple Retina display or something like that. So that's a good use for that TV and that technology, but not as a TV, because you're too far away. You're not going to see any improvement in resolution or detail than what you would see on a 1080p. Plus the fact that the Seiki upscaler, it's going to take 1080p and anything else coming into it and upscale it to 4K to its native resolution. Its upscaler is not very good, as we have found in the reviews of the 50-inch. So I do not recommend getting that Seiki. To tell you the truth, I don't really recommend getting any 4K or UHD display this year or next, because many of the parameters of the UHD infrastructure have not been decided yet. Which color range is going to be used, bit depth, all that kind of stuff hasn't been determined yet, hasn't been decided. So anything you buy today is probably going to be obsolete in a couple of years. Lumpy says, I took my fireplace out and replaced it with a 60-inch TV. Good for you. That's excellent. You can always run a video of a fire, and it'll be lovely. Jim Jam, yes, Panasonic TCE ZT60, best plasma ever made.
Stick around.
You bet.
Yes, that's a giant donut. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. Let's see. Dan in San Diego, California. Hi, Dan. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
How you doing?
I'm well.
I'm in a quandary, Leo. I'm in the market to buy a Ultrabook for home use, just for surfing the net, Google, MS Word, download, YouTube. And I'm looking here at an Ultrabook touchscreen by Lenovo. And I don't know if I should get the 4 gigabyte memory, which has a 4th generation i5, or should I get the 8 gigabyte memory with the i7?
Well, from what you described you're doing, I don't think you need anything more than the 4 gigs with the i5.
Is 4 gig enough for what I want?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do any gaming, very little. I may do MS Word, PowerPoint.
Yeah.
It's not
4 gigs is a huge amount of RAM. I think we're in a world where there's a lot of RAM inflation going on. People are, hey, I should get 8 gigs. People are always telling me, oh, get 8 gigs. There's very little reason to get 8 gigs.
8 gigs. Do I need 8 gigs for what? Just for home use?
The only reason you would ever want 8 gigs is if you did a lot of Photoshop in very large images.
No.
Well, that's it.
By the way, is the 14-inch big enough for what I want?
Well, that's up to you. Most laptops don't get much bigger than that because they're just not portable. In fact, a 17-inch laptop is rather massive. So 14 or 15 is pretty typical.
Is that? I mean, the 14 will be big enough.
Oh yeah. Right? Well, I can't say for you, but in general, yeah, I use.
In general.
Yeah, I like 14 or 15, and I know a lot of people use 13s. The Apple MacBooks are 13s; they're very nice.
Right.
Even 11 inches, which is a little small for me, but no, 14's fine. I think you'd be very happy, but you should probably spend a little time with it in the store and play with it, just to make sure.
And my last question is, but the 4 gigabyte RAM is plenty for what I want.
Yeah, there's this whole silly spec thing that goes on with geeks. They really can't explain why they want 8 gigs. And they can't show me a performance curve that shows that 8 gigs is much, much faster. What happens is there are, if you made a graph of performance versus memory, there is a big jump from, say, 2 gigs to 4 gigs. And there might be a small jump from 4 gigs to 8 gigs, but it's very small. And it's really only when you do certain things. i7, it's the same thing. The i7 basically adds a little more cache memory. Cache memory does speed up a processor. And hyper-threading, which means you can do more things at the same time. None of the things that you do described need any of that. No, so it's silly. It's silly.
It's so basically the i5 with the 14-inch.
You should be very happy. Yeah. And how much is that? How much is that running for you? How much is that?
Okay, the difference is the 14-inch is $680, and the other one, the 8 gigabyte of RAM, is $830.
Well, that's a significant difference. Yeah, I don't think it's worth that much money.
So I should go with my original plan.
Yeah.
The 14-inch.
Yeah. Okay. Don't fall for the silly industry and the geeks who say you need more. You don't.
Exactly. One question quickly. What do you think of? I'm thinking of buying the Nexus 5. Do you like it?
Love it.
Okay, good.
It's a great phone. Yeah, it's a pure Android experience. It's sold by Google, unlocked, which means actually you can buy it from the carrier subsidized, and then it will be locked. Are you thinking of buying it from Google?
I don't want a contract. I just want to buy it.
Yeah, get it from Google. That's the cheapest price. It's very inexpensive, and it's a top-of-the-line phone. I love it.
And the 16 gigabytes is plenty. I don't.
Yeah, again, it depends. If you want to store all your music on the phone, it might not be. But nowadays, people use Google Music or Amazon Music and stream their music, and they don't need to store it. I think the need for a lot of storage on a phone has gone down.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the 4 gigabyte Ultrabook.
Yeah,
and it's a touch screen too.
Sounds great for that price. That's a good deal.
14.
And Lenovo's are great. You're gonna like them.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Dan. Glad to help you spend your money, or maybe spend a little less of your money. Chat room's given me a link to a article. How much RAM do you need? From Laptop Magazine. Now remember, Laptop Magazine might have a little bit of a dog in this hunt, right? We launched 4 programs. Adobe Photoshop. Well, okay, right there. If you're not using Photoshop, I don't think there's a real need for it. And if you don't use a lot of programs at the same time, they launched this is another question. Photoshop, Reader, Firefox, and Microsoft Word. How many people keep a word processor, a photo editor, a browser, and a PDF reader always open at the same time? And by the way, you can have them open. The operating system will reclaim memory as needed. You'd have to keep using them. Like, okay, I'm editing this photo. It's going to take a minute. Let me quickly go browse a little bit. Wait a minute. I got to write up my paper here. You've got to, this is not a normal use case. You'd have to use it all at the same time, not merely have it open, but have to actually actively use it. I think the need for memory is way overblown. Luca I just hung up on Luca. Let me see if I can recover Luca. Are you still there, Luca? Yeah, that's called No, I'm Not. Kevin in Laguna Beach. Sorry, Luca. Call back. Kevin in Laguna Beach. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. How you doing this morning?
I'm well, Kevin. How are you?
I'm frustrated.
Oh, no.
I've got 4 iPhone 5s and 5Ss in the family. And it frustrates me to go to the Apple store and pay $20 for one of those darn little cables.
Oh, no kidding. But you know why? Okay. Apple's got a monopoly. If you want to make a lightning cable, you have to license it from Apple. It's one of the reasons Apple has made a lot of technical excuses for why, we have to do our own custom cable, blah, blah, blah. While everybody else in the industry is making micro USB cables that are standard and cost a couple of bucks, Apple's making a $20 specialty cable. And I would say, there are some arguments why it's a good idea. You don't have to worry if it's upright, which direction it's in to put it in. It's a shame. Thank you. Thank you, Apple.
It seems like some cables kind of work for a while.
Yeah, you can go. I wouldn't get them on eBay. You can go to monoprice.com, and I think you can find lightning cables. And Monoprice is a good low cost. The cheap ones may only charge. Because you can make a lightning cable that charges, but if you want to have it do any of the other functionality of lightning, you have to you have to pay a license fee. Let me just see what. Yeah. Oh, these are certified. Okay, so these are all, and Apple charges $20, $12 on mono price.
$12.
Still more than they ought to be, but at least they're not as much as Apple charges.
Okay, well, I knew I could count on you for
mono price makes good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it. It is frustrating, isn't it, Kevin? Especially if you're moving from, you have those 4S's, right? You have the 30-pin ones, and then you got the newer phones, and all of a sudden you got to get all new cabling. Makes me nuts. And I really think this is, for the most, there are some technical arguments why Apple wanted to do Lightning, but I think mostly it's because it's proprietary and they own it, and they license it, and you have to either you're going to buy it from them for a ridiculous $20, or you're going to buy it from somebody else, and Apple's going to get their $5 licensing fee. In the European Union, phones are required to come with micro USB connectors. They actually made a law in the European Union. Apple still sells phones in the European Union, but they just come with a little adapter that takes the Lightning connector and makes it micro USB. They say, well, you may lose some functionality. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. They get it. People pay it. It was one of the several reasons I had for abandoning, frankly, the iPhone line. Joanna, Marina Del Rey, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. I love your show. I listen to it all the time and always learn something.
Thank you, Joanna.
Okay, but I am very frustrated. I have a Netflix account, and I have constant problems with it, stopping and downgrading the quality on me.
Yeah.
I've checked everybody. I've upgraded my internet connection. I've checked the Roku. I've checked the Linksys router.
Okay, so you're using a Roku to watch Netflix. It's wireless?
It is.
Yeah, to your Linksys. How close to the Roku is the Linksys?
About 9 meters away, yards away.
It's in the same room?
Oh, yeah.
And it's
also, by the way, I also did a hardwire. I did an Ethernet the other day.
And the same thing?
Yep.
And then your internet service provider's not doing what they said they'd do.
Well, I bought 15. I upgraded it to get the problem resolved, and I'm at 15, their system, the upgraded service. And
part of the problem with Netflix is everybody watches it about 7 o'clock at night till midnight.
Yeah.
It's 40% of all the internet traffic at that time, and it may just be, is it a cable company?
My internet, it's Time Warner. I have the cable.
Yeah, cable tends to be congested at that time. Hang on, we'll talk more about it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. There are some things we can do. Yeah, I think she's torrenting movie files in the house. We made the decision to get she needs to stop doing that. It's
she needs to start.
yeah, either that or she needs to start torrenting them. That's a good point. That's a good point. I think it tends to happen more with when people are on a cable internet service. That's when it happens. And in my old neighborhood, it would get really bad. We moved now to and Luca is on the second floor, and we're going to go to her in just a minute. Yeah, thank you. Somebody laughed. That's good. That's the first thing I think of always. Why do I hate the iPhone? Wireless 101. Why do I hate it? Did I say I hated it? I don't use it. I think the Lightning, I was very insulted by Lightning, although now I have all Lightning because I have iPads. And I frankly mostly just like the customizability of Android. I think Apple, I don't like iOS 7 very much. You have to use it on the iPad, and I'm not fond of it. I like Android better. It's more variety, more choice. I like to be able to choose keyboards. I really loathe. I'll tell you what I do. The word hate does apply to the iPhone keyboard. It's a terrible keyboard. And I don't know how Apple has gotten away with that for so long. So I like the choice of keyboards. I like widgets on the desktop. I think Apple's restrictive app policies are insulting to users. I think iOS 7 is buggy and insecure. Is that enough? Do I need more? It's not. I don't hate it, but I'm not fond of it. And if I have a choice, I choose it. I use the Moto X. I do really like the Nexus 5, but there's some Moto X stuff I just really waiting for. Really like. I just really don't. I really don't like Apple's restrictive way of doing business. So what's wrong with the iOS 7 keyboard is not the key size, Kevin, although that certainly is a problem for me. It's that it's always in caps, even when you're in lowercase or cap. You can't tell, except from a little light, and there's no reason to do that. That's just stupid. That's just bad design. From a company that really, for many years, did the best design. That's just unbelievable. Oh, I'm definitely blacklisted by Apple, even though Andy Anako swears there's no such thing. I'm definitely. I really like the iPad Mini. That's my tablet. I love my tablet. But although I think the Nexus 7 is pretty good, it has some issues, some responsive issues, some bugs in it. I'm very impressed by the Kindle Fire HDX 8. That's a nice one. Okay, Jim Jam, you don't know what you're talking about, but thank you for the input. I know why I'm blacklisted. Blacklisted because I had the temerity to try to stream the iPad announcement. That's why I'm blacklisted. But I mean, it doesn't matter why I'm blacklisted. That's not the issue. The issue is that Apple tries to use blacklisting to influence journalists. It obviously doesn't work, but they do have some sycophantic journalists who they make sure to coddle. And I think Apple's one of the last companies where you really see that kind of bias in the trade press for Apple. Oh, what am I doing? Scott's still here. Take it away, Mr. Scotty. I completely forgot about you.
Oh, it's totally fine.
All yours.
You know, if you would like to hang out, I would love to hang out with you.
I just forgot. I usually chat in these, and I forgot you were here.
Well, I love chatting too, so I thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah, we were talking here in the chat room about all the same stuff we talked about on the show, OLED and LCD, 4K. People are still asking me, and rightly so, if 4K, is worth getting now, and the answer really is no. And I hate to say that because I really value early adopters, because without them, we wouldn't see much in the way of improvement. But in this case, I have to say 4K or UHD is simply not a good bet right now, because there are a number of parameters, not resolution. Resolution has been solved, or determined, standardized, fixed, if you will. But things like color space, color gamut, bit depth, these other various parameters have not yet been finalized. And so the TV you buy today probably won't be compatible with whatever is decided in the next year or two. So that is why I really don't recommend it. Wireless 101 is asking, what are my thoughts on 4K video on YouTube? More power to them. I do want to see the distribution of 4K increase, but it's going to be so highly compressed coming from YouTube or Netflix or anybody else streaming online that the benefit isn't going to be tremendous, I don't think. I must admit I haven't seen it. I don't have a 4K TV in-house at the moment to try out all these things, and I really should. So I may very well contact Samsung or Sony or somebody and say, hey, can you let me borrow one for a while and let me get some real experience with it on these things. But that is my thoughts on that. Waikiki Guru is hanging with me. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you here, old geezer. Yes, I am still here. My face bought the Boston Acoustic Soundware XS digital cinema speakers for $50. That does seem like a good deal to me. Boston Acoustics is actually a very good brand. So, yeah, sounds great to me. Bad Luck 13. Where was Bad Luck 13? I hate it when this screen just jumps around sometimes. Oh, yeah. Early adoption hasn't worked for Blu-ray. Well, yes, I think it has, actually. Bill in Michigan, 4K is for people with more money than sense. I don't know that I'd go quite that far. Again, I don't want to diss early adopters. They're very important to our industry. Lawn Dog, if plasma is my current favorite TV technology, what's coming up next that was going to be an improvement over plasma? OLED, no question about it. Leo has jumped on the early adopter bandwagon and got that Samsung OLED TV, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it is beautiful. It does supersede plasma. It really does. The blacks are truly infinite. I mean, they go to zero. Colors are great. Brightness is great. Everything about OLED is fantastic, except it's really expensive. And it's going to remain that way for a while, I'm afraid, because the yields, the manufacturing yields are so low. You know, they have to throw away half the TVs they make, at least.
Thank you, Mr. Scotty. We'll see you next
pleasure.
week.
Next
Appreciate
week.
it. Take care.
Happy gobble gobble, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, happy Hanukkah.
Indeed.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. And time to talk about computers and the internet and cell phones and home theater and why your Roku's not giving you good Netflix reception and all of that jazz. Phone number is 8888 Ask Leo, 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. and Canada. Otherwise, you can use Skype and still call us. I know we have listeners all around the world thanks to the internet and iHeartRadio. Hello, everybody. So this is a not uncommon problem. My Netflix it's buffering is what we call it. It pauses, goes to a lower quality. Netflix is designed to be responsive to the amount of bandwidth you have. If you have consistently 2 or 3 megabits per second for Netflix, you should be able to get good HD signal. I think the top quality that Netflix uses is, I think, around 3 gigabits. Doesn't use more than that. So you might ask, well, golly, she has the cable company promises her 15 megabits per second, and she should be able to have good Netflix, right? Well, no, not unusual. So a few things happen. First of all, of course, it's Wi-Fi. Now, our caller said that she tried hooking up her Ethernet cable, and it still was giving her trouble. So we know that it's not her Wi-Fi signal. Her router is in the same room. Wi-Fi is certainly capable of doing 3 megabits per second. Did I say gigabits? I meant megabits. 3 gigabits is impractical. 3 megabits per second. My apologies. That's the best. The most, I think, is 2.88 megabits per second is the most that Netflix will ever use. Pardon me. Pardon my slip. Again, you should have enough, but there are other issues. The way cable works, unfortunately, is that the cable company provides a certain amount of bandwidth to your neighborhood, and that bandwidth at the neighborhood level is shared. Unfortunately, cable companies have, perhaps in your area, not kept up with the demand. And what they didn't plan on is everybody using 2.88 megabits per second between 7 and 10 p.m. every night. And that's what's happening. We're all watching streaming video at night. Netflix, maybe other streaming video, but we're all watching streaming video, and that's killing the bandwidth. So if you see this problem in the evening during peak hours, that's likely because the cable company itself has not provided enough bandwidth to the head end in your neighborhood. It's less of a problem on DSL, although it can still be a problem on DSL. It's just less of a problem. It moves upstream. The DSL provider has a certain amount of bandwidth to the central office, to the DSL switch, the DSLAM. And if that gets maxed out by all the subscribers in the area of the central office, that's a much larger number, then you'll have the same problem. And I wouldn't be surprised. Nowadays, so many of us are streaming high-quality video in the evening. So the demand is really just so high that Netflix doesn't work very well. It's not going to get better if you use something besides Netflix. Stream a video from iTunes or Vudu or somebody else. It's going to have the same problem because the total amount of bandwidth available to your house has gone down. It's less than promised. And if you read the fine print, you'll see that it's up to 15 megabytes or megabits per second, not down to. It's not a guarantee of the maximum. It's up to 15 megabytes per second. So it's certainly true that getting a better router sometimes will help. And also, if you can, moving your router around, wiring it if possible. But if the problem is there's not enough bandwidth in your neighborhood, there's not much you can do about it. Isn't that sad? Call the cable company saying, it's not working at night. Problem is they can pass the buck because it's so hard to diagnose. So hard to diagnose. It's, and I'm part of the problem, right? Because we stream all of our video. A lot of people watch our video. We don't do anything over, I think, 1.5 megabits per second. I think that's the highest quality you can get from us. I noticed this because I moved from from an area in town where there were lots of people around me, and Netflix didn't work well at night, to a country area where I still have cable, but there are far fewer houses sharing that cable, and I don't have the same problem at night. So there you go. I'm sorry. I don't know there's much you can do about it. Hey, Luca's back. I'm sorry, Luca. Didn't mean to hang up on you. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hello.
Hi, Luca. Thanks for calling back.
So when I put my Mac to sleep, so like when I go to bed, it goes into hibernate mode after a couple hours.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
It is. You can turn that off in the power settings. Hibernate. So what happens, and it still does it?
Yeah.
You say never hibernate?
I go to energy saver, and
maybe you can't turn it off permanently. Let me just look at mine here. It doesn't. Maybe you don't have that capability. You've got computer sleep, put hard drives to sleep, wake for network, enable power nap. Yeah, I guess on a Mac you don't have that choice, do you? So
shouldn't be worried about anything?
No. Here's what happens. Normally, the computer for the first few hours sleeps. That means it's still it's not completely off. It's in a 5-watt or thereabouts state using power. Because remember, your memory, your RAM, not your hard drive, but your RAM needs to have power, or go, hey, I forgot everything. It'll forget if there's not power to it. So a sleeping computer means that the RAM is being refreshed. There's still power going to the RAM. In the case of Macintoshes, they also have this power nap capability of getting your mail periodically, updating your calendar, getting iCloud downloads, things like that. The power nap. You'll see, in fact, your little light on your Mac pulses like it's breathing deeply.
Does power nap work on Macs without SSDs?
I think you have to have an SSD. But what happens is that's still using power. So after a few hours, many computers will do this. They hibernate. What they do is they save the contents of RAM, of memory, to the hard drive. So you'll notice right before hibernation, there's a lot of disk access. Saves all the contents of RAM. And then it virtually turns off. It really goes into a very, very low power state, akin to being turned off. When you turn it on, it's slower to boot up because the first thing it does is load the contents of memory from the hard drive. That's so you can get back to right where you were exactly. But it's a little slower to start up again. So hibernate is a very, very low power state that continues to save your system state. And there's nothing wrong with it. Let me just check and see. It seems like, on PCs you can turn off hibernate. And sometimes hibernate can cause problems. Let me just check. Can you? Yeah. Is it a terminal command or something?
No, it's just in the power. It's one of the advanced settings in there.
Oh, it's an advanced power settings, says Fraser. So, or you can do it. We'll put a link in the show notes to Apple's support community thread. That's this exact question. Apple, my MacBook switches to hibernation during sleep, and there's some ways that you can turn this off in the terminal command. Hibernation is not a bad thing, however. It just is slower to start up. So there is a terminal command that you can turn this off with. I would just leave it, Luca, unless you know that you really want to Keep it on. Luis in La Puente, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hey, Luis. Hello, Luis. Luis. I hear Heather going, Luis. Tell you what, I think I have this technology down now. I can put him on no. Okay, I could put him on hold and then go to the next one. Let's see if that worked, Heather. Nope, hung up on him. Mike in Orange County, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm looking to get a laptop for my 15-year-old son. He's a sophomore in high school.
Awesome.
And mostly for MS Office type work for his classes. But
all right, hang on. We got to take a break. Magic music is coming, but I'll tell you what. We'll answer your call right after this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our show today brought to you by Gazelle.com. I know there's a lot of new stuff out that you might want to buy, but you also might think, hey, really, you can't justify buying all that new stuff when I still have all the old stuff. Well, get rid of all the old stuff, get some cash, and buy the new stuff. You see, I'm supporting you in your habit. Go to Gazelle.com. Sell your gadgets a fast and simple way. Want a new iPhone? Get rid of the old iPhone. Want a new iPad? Get rid of the old iPad. What do you got? A third generation? This is what I actually, no, I didn't buy. I have the third generation. It's a AT&T 64 gig iPad. I wonder what $210 in my pocket. That's amazing. They even buy broken or cracked iPads and iPhones too. They'll buy old cell phones from a variety of manufacturers. Blackberries. Now, come on, really? How much money could I get for an old Blackberry? Don't laugh. There's people stuck with these. How about you bought a Q10, you thought it was a good idea? $130. There you go. That's not bad. And you thought it was worthless. HTC, Samsung, Motorola. You gotta they'll buy tablets from a variety of manufacturers too. I have the old Microsoft Surface. Want to get the new one? I have the Surface RT, 64 gigs. How much can I get for that? I got all the cables and stuff. Thinking $188. That's great. You get the idea. You probably have thousands of dollars of gadgets in the drawers, in the closet, under your mattress. Here's what you do. You go to Gazelle. These quotes are good for 30 days. You don't have to do anything for 30 days. So you can wait till you get the new gadget, transfer your data over, then pull the trigger. They'll send you a prepaid box. They pay the shipping on anything worth more than $1. And you send it to them, and they quickly turn it around with a check. If you're really in a hurry, you get a PayPal credit. Or if you've got a little more time, they'll mail it to you, the Amazon gift card, because they give you an extra 5% for that. So that's a good deal. Their experts, their data experts, will wipe your data if you forget to. 30-day guaranteed. Get your quote right now. Gazelle.com. They've paid out more than $100 million to over 700,000 customers. Don't you think they've got money for you? Gazelle.com. Then you can get the new stuff. You can get all the new stuff. That's the phone number if you have a question or comment. We're talking to Mike in Orange County. He needs to buy a laptop for his high school sophomore. Sounds like Windows is a necessity, yeah?
Yeah. The package I'm looking at comes with optional MS Office, Home, and Student. So,
what can I do for you?
It's a Dell Inspiron.
Okay.
It's got the 1.7 AMD quad core processor.
Those are inexpensive. Dell sells both consumer and professional grade computers, as do many PC manufacturers. And of course, you're talking about one that's probably $300-400.
This one, it's running without the MS Office package, $549.
Okay.
And that's for the 15-inch.
And I think for a high school sophomore, that's probably a good idea. Chances of him losing it, breaking it. You don't want to spend too much for a computer for him. But that will be more than enough to get the job done, for sure.
For gaming and for...
gaming, another matter a little bit. But you don't want him to game that much. What games does he do?
He does Steam, the Steam network.
Oh, you're a nice dad. You're going to let him keep doing that, huh?
We'll see. We'll see if he keeps his grades up.
Yeah, exactly. No, in fact, I think it's a good idea. I always let my kid game. This is their generation. It's their form of recreation.
Yeah, he also mentioned Team Fortress and.
Yeah, those are somewhat challenging games, and they are, lower end hardware. It's going to be a little challenging. What is he playing on right now?
He is playing he's got a PS3 that he does a lot of his games on, but he really hasn't done too many PC games because their desktop is ancient.
Laptops are rarely fast enough to do high-quality gaming, and that's certainly not. Okay. You can play it. It just won't be. You'll have to lower the quality of the display and so forth.
It's got the 8. I heard you earlier talking about the.
It's got 8 gigs of RAM.
It's got 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah.
RAM is cheap, so if they don't charge you a lot for it, get it. Where they're saving money is on the processor. They're using an AMD processor instead of an Intel processor. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Tell me about the screen on that.
It's the resolution is 1366 by 768.
That's also common on a lower price computer. They have a lower resolution, and it's not a touch screen. I'm sure, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not a touch screen. It's got AMD Radeon graphics card. I guess that's what that is.
Yeah. Are you getting this at QVC?
How'd you know?
This is the one they're selling, I think.
That was my other.
Yeah, I generally don't recommend that. I would, before you buy from QVC, I would go to Dell.com and spec out something at that price. What you're going to get from QVC is remaindered or something they're trying to clear out. And I think you're probably going to get a better computer for the same price by going to Dell.com.
Okay.
You'll certainly get a better warranty.
What's a comparable Intel processor?
i5. You probably do want the i5. You're going to get better battery life. It's a sad story. AMD kept Intel honest for a long time by making very competitive chips. And finally, Intel, I think, just dug their heels in. They were lucky. They had a kind of a skunk works in Israel that had been working on these core processors, and they frankly lapped AMD, and AMD has never caught up.
Okay.
So they are used in the low-price computers. It's one way of keeping prices down. People are very sensitive to the bottom line on price, but a lot of times you save money, and it's a fool's economy because the computer is not going to be all it should be. Your price range is not bad, and I think you should be able to get a pretty nice system. Go to Dell though, and get it from Dell instead.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it around 500, and then add the MS Office.
And try the Dell Outlet Store.
Okay.
Yep. The other possibility is Microsoft's Surface RT. I think for a student, the RT you're not going to be able to play Steam games on it. You need a full Windows machine to do that, and frankly, nothing in your price range is going to play games well anyway. But Microsoft's Surface RT comes with Office for free. It's their Surface 2. It's roughly that same price point. And I think it's a pretty nice for a student machine. So that would be another one to take a look at. And Microsoft sells that direct from the Microsoft Store. 8888 Ask Leo. It's tough, The problem is in computer industry did themselves a little bit of a disservice when they started selling netbooks. They really lowered people's expectation for how much to pay for a computer. You can get a netbook for $250 for $300. People say, "Wow, this is great." Remember, those netbooks were pretty junky, and I think a lot of people who were using netbooks are no longer using them. And so if you spend $250 for a computer you don't really like and use for a year, it seems to me like a false economy. You'd be better off spending twice that and keeping that computer for 3 or 4 years, in my opinion. Asus has some good models. The Asus Q500, according to our chat room, is a good choice in that same price range. I do like Asus's stuff, asus.com. It's tough because you look at these things and you can't tell just looking at the surface, well, what's in there? Is it any good? Tommy in New Orleans, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Tommy. I wonder if I'm having trouble with line 2. Oh, it could be me. Hi, Tommy.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
I'm well.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
My wife just bought me a Xbox One.
Oh, are you a lucky man?
But the trouble I'm having is, are all your old 360 games just shot?
Yep. Both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, both Sony and Microsoft decided we're not going to support old games. You got to buy all new ones.
Okay, I understand that now. Well, let me ask you another question.
Did you put your old game in there and nothing happened, huh?
No, yeah, just said, nah, it won't work.
Yeah, none of the old games will. You have to buy all new games.
On my 360, if I put that in another room to use, am I still able to run the games and get on live?
Yeah. I kept the 360, you bet.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That answers my question. I was just wondering if I could do anything with the old games.
Yeah, you keep all the old games and stuff, and then when new games come out, you get the new ones. The truth is, the Xbox One I don't think it's significantly better video quality than the Xbox 360.
I noticed that.
Yeah, what you're really getting is all the new features, the built-in Connect, the fact you can talk to the TV, you can watch the NFL, snap it over to the right, you can...
I like that a lot.
All of that stuff. I really like it. It's a media center as much as a game machine. And going forward, while there'll still be a trickle of games coming out for the 360, most of the hot new games will come out for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, not the old systems. So if you want to get, next year... there's a title called Watch Dogs I'm very excited about. You won't be able to play that on the 360. You'll have to have an Xbox One if you want to play that. Things like that.
I'm really impressed with it. My wife happened to pick one up yesterday, and I'm just coming out the room today from fooling with it since yesterday.
I'm in love with my Xbox One. I go in there and I just stare at it and go, I love you. But it isn't. But the games are 720p. It takes a while for game companies, for the people who write the games, to kind of understand a system and to start really taking advantage of it. So this happened last time. It's just hard to remember because it was 7 years ago. It takes a little while. In a few years, this thing will sing. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Do. Lisa got our tree. Yay. Yay. She says it's huge.
Did she send a picture?
Yeah, I'm going to say send a picture. It's beautiful weather, isn't it? Jeez, I just love it.
We need to be able to smell it.
Send a picture. Yay.
I helped Mama Hammond put up the fake tree yesterday.
Well, we have the fake tree. We're going to bring the fake tree here. Set it up in the lobby. This is a good place for a fake tree.
Oh, Johnny Jet's showing off his mustache.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Back off, man.
Oh.
Jeez.
But nice white teeth. I like your white teeth. Holy moly. That thing's really Movemberin.
Yep.
Are you shaving it tomorrow?
It might have to go tonight. My wife's not happy.
Oh. Put some white on it. I mean, you seriously are looking like Mr. Clean.
It looks like Ron Jeremy. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I thought we could just do the interview.
It's good, yeah. Uh-oh. He's frozen. Look at how white your teeth are, though. Man.
What do you use, Johnny Jet?
I use Crest. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
I've never heard of anybody having a toothpaste preference, but Lisa will not use Crest. She will only use Colgate. She said, I don't like Crest.
I actually have Arm & Hammer in my shower.
That's good. That's a good kind. It's got baking soda.
Toothpaste.
Yeah, I love the baking soda.
Really? Toothpaste is toothpaste to me.
No.
No? There's like flavor differences? She says, oh, I hate Crest. And she knows immediately, oh, that's Crest. I don't like it.
It's Crest with scope, but you know what? It burns your mouth. Like you can't.
Well, that's good, right? Because that's killing the germs. You know that it's working because your mouth is on fire.
Exactly. But you're like, I don't want to go taste wine after this.
No.
Because it's going to take a good 20 minutes to settle down.
Yeah. Swamp Rat says, I'm in the Colgate camp. Who knew? Tide or Cheer?
My wife does not do Tide.
See, they're all the same.
What? No, Tide is
She
the
says it
best
gives her
detergent.
allergies.
Well, allergies I can understand. I can't use Downy because Lisa has very sensitive skin and she doesn't like the fabric softener makes her break out. And hives. Pepsodent. I like Pepsodent. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Saw that on Facebook yesterday.
Hey. Yeah, I haven't visited Facebook, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you should be.
There's going to be like 8,000 happy birthdays on there.
I'm sure.
But go to mine.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I literally have not visited Facebook. I'm afraid to.
And by the way, I might not be able to call in next week because I'll be out of the country.
Are you turning into a Colombian revolutionary?
You never know.
I am going to South America to
So I
liberate
could possibly call on Sunday. I just don't know.
I'm going to call
Actually, I'll be in a different
Ugo
country
Jet.
that day.
Okay, that's fine. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. We have room for you.
I'll email you.
Yeah, just let me know.
I just don't know my schedule for sure.
I have received my Google Wallet card. I have it. It's very pretty. It says Google Wallet on it. Look at that. Just like a Google Wallet. Oh, Johnny's reading my card number on the back.
Nice.
Nice. I have to sign it. So what do you want to talk about, JJ?
No, I have a whole bunch of notes.
Okay.
And so you choose. We can talk about, I have a baggage service that you can get your bags delivered, which is a fun thing to talk about.
All righty.
And I do not make any money
The
off of
cruise
it.
line does that. The Seabourn says you can ship your bags.
But now these airlines, a bunch of airlines do it, and it's at 250 different airports, so it's a good alternative for people traveling.
Cool.
So we talk about that. We could talk about, if you want to talk about products, we have Black Friday and some Cyber Monday. I have all kinds of travel products we can talk about. I have a ski app. I have what to do with weather delays and flight cancellations.
Holy cow. I'm Leo Laporte, the tech guy, that big old jet airliner. Look what the jet airliner flew in. The mustachioed Johnny Jet from JohnnyJet.com, our travel guru, grew his mustache for Movember. It is the last day of Movember, Johnny. Are you going to keep the stash?
I'm going to have to shave it.
Really?
Shave it. Yep. I think there's going to be a lot of people going to the supermarket or the grocery store.
I think you look
some
good with the.
I like it. I like it. My wife hates it.
Oh, see, that's the problem. Spousal acceptance factor is low.
I put it on Facebook, and I think 9 out of 10 people hate it.
Oh, that's just, don't listen to people. I think you look good.
Well, thank you.
You look like you might have a sideline in an adult movie industry, but otherwise you look good.
I am in L.A.
No, I think it's great. I think it shows off your big smile. You've always had the best smile in the biz, so look at that. So yesterday, and today, I guess, big travel day. Tomorrow, big travel day because everybody went home for the holidays.
Correct.
How was it?
You know what? There were supposed to be a lot of weather delays, but it turned out to be great.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't on Wednesday was not bad at all.
Now, are there on big travel days, are you more likely to have lost your luggage?
Oh, well, for sure. The more people traveling, the more people lose their luggage.
So do you have any hints?
I sure do. Well, first of all, I always recommend people packing a lot less than they normally need. So I'm a huge fan of carry-on. I know you can't do it.
I always overpack.
Well, you know, I'm going away for 3.5 weeks starting.
But John, there's a problem. There's a problem. Because of the fact that airlines usually charge for bags, people are now trying to get more and more in those overhead bins.
That is true.
And it's crazy now. I mean, I see people putting children up there. It's not good. You should, overhead is for carry-on, for one small bag. Don't put your entire Christmas list up there. People put Christmas trees. I mean, and then you get on if you're not, then that creates the traffic jam, because if you're not the first on the airplane, there's not going to be any overhead for you.
You got to be in the first couple zones, otherwise you're going to be checking your bag.
I hate this.
I hate it too, because I've never checked a bag, and I even get free.
But it's your fault.
I fly no, it's not my fault. I get free check bags. I'm not trying to.
So you have a small. See, I got the Briggs & Riley you recommended. That's perfect. It's little.
Yes.
It's not. It goes in the overhead, or I could get it under the seat if I had to.
That's the key. You should always have a bag, at least one bag that will fit under the seat in front of you, and that way it will fit all your valuables. So by chance you are zone 4 or 5 or 20, that you will. When they say you need to check your bag, you take all the valuables out of your bag. Make sure you take your medicine, your electronics, computers, whatever that's valuable, and put it in the carry-on. Do not check it.
Okay.
That's
a lot of travelers like you, they don't want to check bags.
Yes.
Partly because you lose bags, but also because they charge money.
Oh no, it's actually not about the money. It's really about saving time.
Right.
When you travel a lot, people do not like to check a bag because you have to show up to the airport an hour earlier or whatever.
Right.
Earlier.
Right.
And then you have to wait around, which sometimes feels like an eternity. Even though it's 10 minutes, it feels like an hour.
Okay.
And so what I'd recommend is people ship your bags ahead of time.
Wait a minute. What? Actually, you know what? My mom does that when she comes out and visits us. I always get 2 or 3 boxes of clothes the week before.
Yeah. So that's what you should do. And do it in advance. Your mom is smart. You want to ship it ground. You don't want to ship it overnight. Use FedEx ground, UPS ground.
Yeah, she ships UPS.
Office, whatever's the cheapest.
Yep. And she ships this. She calls it slow boat to China mode. It's the slowest they have.
That's what I say when I go to the post office. Exactly. I go, I'll take the slow boat to China. And also make sure that if you're shipping to a hotel, you call in advance, because a lot of these guys will charge per pound.
Oh.
So if you ship it to a hotel, it could cost you $60 just to retrieve it from them. So you want to find out before that. Also, if you're shipping, make sure you clearly label it, and you don't want to do it for international travel, just domestic.
Yeah, because shipping overseas, you can end up in customs, and you'll get your clothes 3 weeks after you come home.
Correct. But I have a website for you.
Oh, okay.
It's a service called Bags VIP.
I ship my pants.
Bags VIP Luggage Delivery.
Bags.
Their website looks like maketraveleasier.com.
Oh, maketraveleasier.com. So they specialize in this.
These guys actually have deals with a whole bunch of airlines.
So better to do this than go directly to UPS yourself?
No. Actually, I prefer going to UPS or whatever, FedEx. But with these guys, what they'll do is, let's say you're going to check a bag with American or whatever airline, and they're going to charge you $25 for your first bag, and whatever the second, $35. So you still have to pay those fees. But let's say you don't want to hang out at the.
Oh, I see. These guys pick it up at the baggage carousel, and they bring it to your hotel for you.
And then they'll bring it to your hotel or wherever within 40 miles. And the prices are not bad. One bag is $30. Yeah. 2 bags is $39.
But if you had golf clubs or a snowboard, something really ungainly, this might be a lot better.
Or if you're landing in the morning and you want to go somewhere else to go sightseeing for a while, and you don't want to drag your stuff around, this is perfect. Or if you want to take public transportation, which is going to save you money in the long run, this is a good resource.
The cruise we took, on your recommendation, the Seabourn cruise we took for vacation last month, they will come for a fee, but they'll come to your house and collect your bags. And the next time you see them, they'll be in your stateroom.
You got to love that. And how early do they do that? A week before?
I didn't look it up, but it didn't seem like it was that expensive. I mean, that's kind of, I think on cruises, especially longer cruises, people pack, they have to pack their evening gowns and their tuxedos and their tiara and all of that stuff. And they can really, you can have a lot of luggage. So that's nice. They come to your door, then they just whisk it away.
I know.
I love that.
I'm going on a cruise next week. I'll be on a cruise.
Oh, yeah. You said you're going to be gone for how long now?
3.5 weeks, but the cruise is a week that I'm going.
And where is that going to be?
That's a secret,
Mr.
buddy.
Jet Setter, Johnny Jet. I know, because when you know ahead of time, you get big crowds at the gate and at the cruise terminal, and they all, Johnny.
I love your mustache.
I love the mustache. JohnnyJet.com is his website, where he has lots of travel tips like this. So so we won't talk to you next week because you'll be in transit.
I'll try. I might be able to call on Sunday.
We'll do it on Sunday. That's fine. I don't care. And then you're not going to give us any clues, any hints. Are you bringing your lovely wife, the mustache hater?
And we're going to be in actually the next 7 days. I'll be in 3 different countries.
Crazy. You're
and then
traveling
3 countries
fool.
after that the following week.
Isn't it this is like the perfect job? You get to just travel all the time. Does it get? I have to say, when I started doing a lot of business travel, and everybody said, "Oh, you're lucky. You get to There's Le Web in Paris every December. Oh, you're lucky. You get to go to Paris. No, it's work. It's not as much fun if you're doing it for work.
I'm the luckiest man alive, and the reason why I love it because I don't check bags.
All right, maketraveleasier.com. Do you have any other baggage check tips?
Of course. I mean, I've got tons.
Okay.
But by the way, did you buy a lot of stuff for Cyber Black Friday?
No, I never do that. No, I bought a lot of wine. You know what I did? We went on a wine tasting on yesterday.
Oh, good.
Because it was my birthday.
That's right.
So
Happy birthday.
Lisa booked a car, and we drove around to 6 different wineries. And it's good we had a car. That's all I could say.
Well, you know what? When I was in Oakland, by the way, a couple weeks ago, I did a bike tour winery, urban bike winery tour.
Fun.
I wrote about it, and you visit these wineries in Oakland because they're all usually these guys don't want to live in the countryside. So they said we can do everything we do in the country out in the city.
Except grow the grapes.
Except grow the grapes. But what's nice about that is they can get grapes now from every different vineyard. They don't have to have one type of grape. They can get a variety and choose which kind of wines they want to make. It's actually pretty cool, and you ride your bikes around.
All right.
You got to check it out.
Huh? All right.
Well, listen, I mean, it's Oakland. It's not San Francisco.
All right.
But
okay.
There's parts of Oakland that are nice.
JohnnyJet.com. Follow Johnny on the Twitter at JohnnyJet.
And speaking of Northern California, by the way,
yes.
I love SFO Terminal 2.
Terminal 2. Virgin America revamped it. It's gorgeous.
American. I love it.
It's gorgeous. If you have the you never have the choice. That's the problem. Thank you, Johnny. More of your calls coming up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I know Terminal 2, they have armchairs.
Yes.
I love it. You can sit in the armchair. Terminal 2. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful trip.
Yeah, they have the egg chairs, but I grew up with one of those chairs in my house.
I know, that's very 60s. Those
spin around.
Yeah, those egg chairs. Your parents must have been hipsters.
Yeah, my dad, he was totally.
Yeah.
And he's still here, by the way. He's now here indefinitely living with me. He didn't want to go home.
You're kidding. He moved in? Johnny,
he's here.
You were too nice.
I don't want him to go home. I told him.
Really? You are. Yes. What a good son. I hope my son's like you.
Listen, my dad's 85. How much time am I going to have with him?
I think, that's 25 years from now. I pray my son is something like you and says, Dad, come live with me. It'll be great.
And I'm taking him back to Vegas this week.
You are too good.
Well, I'm going for work, and I said he's coming with me.
What a good son. He must be very happy.
He still complains. And then I played football on the beach the other day for a turkey bowl.
Oh, fun.
And he just loves to jab me a little bit. He's like, hey, you better not run too fast because, you gained a little bit of weight. And he goes, actually, I've never seen you run too fast anyway. I'm like, okay.
Oh, Lord. And he's moved in. I think you could have a Twitter account, Stuff My Dad Says. Oh, wait a minute, it's been done.
If they didn't have that already, I would have done it because he says the craziest stuff. You have no idea.
Start tweeting. I have that book somewhere. And it was a TV. They made a TV show out of it.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
My dad, it should have been about him. But anyway, have a great week. Happy birthday
week. You too.
Week.
Thank you. It's so good to talk to you. Thanks, John. We'll talk again. Maybe next Sunday. You just email me.
Right.
Let me know.
All right. Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye. $20 per month per user.
I love Johnny Jet. He's so great.
Yeah, the cat's in the cradle. That's right. Henry's not too happy. Look at this tree. Look at this tree. Wow. It's huge. We could have got bigger. I don't know how she's getting it home. Yeah. Yeah. Of course it's real.
How is she getting that home?
It's 12 and a half feet.
It's going to stick out of the top of the Mustang. It still won't work.
Yeah. How are you getting it home?
I've got a half dozen hot young loggers coming.
Oh, I'm sure she does. That is beautiful. 12 and a half feet. Wow. Well, we have a very high ceiling in the living room, the great room.
Is John around or is he listening?
She said she put it on the roof. What? No, she must be teasing me. Of the Mustang?
I think we need to.
She's such a tease. She's so bad. And it's so straight-faced. I can never tell if she's making it up. She says of the Mustang. No, that can't be. Are you teasing me again? Question mark.
Oh, hey.
She said I thought we were going to do it together. Well, I guess I know what I'm going to be doing. Decorating. I hope she got a really big stand. Bum, bum. She did. She brought it home on the Mustang.
No live reach.
Thank you. Don't stop till you get a nerd. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I'm here nerding out with you on this day after Black Friday, 2 days before Cyber Monday, all of which is made up. So the whole idea of Cyber Monday was, you could tell how dated this whole notion is. Well, now that you could buy stuff online, people are going to wait till Monday so they can go to work and use the fast connection at work to buy stuff. That's how dated that idea is, right? Don't most people today have faster internet connections at home than they do at work? Yes. I'm going to wait till Monday so I can use the fast internet at work. I think that's been debunked now, that it's Cyber Monday all year round. I'm pretty sure. 8888 ask, well, you do? Robert in the chat room says, I go to work to use their internet connection. Paula's next in Temecula, California. Hi, Paula. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. I really need some advice. My son just turned 15, and he wants a gaming computer for Christmas.
How fun.
Yeah, he plays online with his friends, mostly Minecraft, but he's not much into it. But I want to get something that will kind of be a building block where we can get the most bang for our buck.
Yeah. The good news on Minecraft is it's not very demanding. So if it's just Minecraft, then almost any computer will work fine. The problem is when you start getting to the fancier games, the higher end games, they can be very demanding. In fact, gaming is really the thing that pushes technology ahead faster than anything else. It is the most demanding application for computers, believe it or not, more than almost anything else that anybody does. Mm-hmm. So you can spend a lot of money on a gaming computer. They tend to be more expensive. They have faster processors, more memory, and most importantly, faster graphics processor units, or GPUs. The graphics processor is what makes a game sing on a computer or be a slug.
Mm-hmm.
But
what would be an entry-level one? What would be the best to get him started on that?
Is he going to stick to Minecraft?
I'm hoping that he'll learn the programming part of it and go into that, which some of his friends are already starting to do.
Yeah. So he's shown some interest in that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. Then that's worth... Now, the good news about that also is not very demanding. That in terms of using a computer. Programming is... Any computer is a good programming machine, really. I think you have a lot of choices. Do you want to tell us what your budget is?
Oh, we were hoping it would be around $600.
Yeah, I think you're in there. Acer, A-C-E-R, makes some good low-end computers. Does he know he wants Windows, or does he have a preference?
All he said is gaming computer. So we're
generally that means Windows, but not for Minecraft. Minecraft runs the same on Windows or Mac.
Mm-hmm. Which one is better, the Windows or Mac?
For programming, a Mac might be better, to be honest with you. But for gaming, PCs are generally better. Again, it depends on the game. I think, and of course, you want him to use it for homework and schoolwork and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right now, he keeps our family laptop pretty much tied up.
Good.
He complains it's laggy. So.
Yeah. Well, $600 is not going to be a top-of-the-line system, but I think you should be able to get a decent middle-of-the-line system. Dell is good. As I said, Acer often gives you better bang for the buck. Asus, A-S-U-S also. I wouldn't go to a big box store and get them. We talked earlier about a guy who's going to get his on QVC, the home shopping channel. Don't recommend that either. Both big box stores and QVC and the home shopping network usually are selling closeouts. They're not selling the latest, greatest. They're selling stuff that didn't sell very well. That's why they can offer a lower price. And often it's not even worth what you're getting. So Dell has a gaming brand called Alienware. Does he want a laptop?
Yes, because him and his friends bring them all they get together at one of the guys' houses. They all sit in the same room and they are on the same game online together.
Isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm.
You don't sound too impressed.
I think it's funny. You go in the room, they're all looking at their screens.
I know. That's how kids socialize nowadays. They don't.
And then yeah.
Yeah, you cover their eyes. Say, okay, what color shirt is Joe wearing? No idea. He's wearing a shirt I don't know. I haven't ever seen Joe. Who? I think Dell is going to be a good place to start for you.
Okay.
You can go there and spec it out. You're going to want to get something that's an i5 processor. You're going to want to get the Iris graphics or Iris Pro if you can afford it graphics.
Okay.
I think you can get 4 gigs of RAM, but 8 would be maybe better if you've got it. I think there's decent choices out there. I wish I had I could just say get that one, but it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. Dell, I can give you brand names, and then you're just going to have to make some decisions in terms of screen size and so forth. You'll always have, all of them will have decent sized hard drives. I think you're probably going to want a 14 or a 15-inch screen for gaming.
Okay.
The Dell Inspiron is a low-end laptop. The Inspiron is a low-end laptop that gives you a pretty good performance for under $600.
Okay.
You may have to consider Microsoft Office as part of the purchase price because if he's going to do a schoolwork on it, he's probably going to want a word processor and all that stuff. It is a laptop, and so that makes it simple in terms of, you're getting everything all in one. Now, somebody in the chat room says that their gaming division, Alienware, does have a inexpensive laptop, the X51. Not sure it's a mini gaming. Oh, it's a desktop. It's not a laptop. Never mind. Forget I mentioned it.
Okay.
Because he's sure he wants to. Yeah, he wants to carry it around.
Right.
So yeah, I would get it from Dell.
Okay.
And Dell has such a range. You can kind of spec it together. I said i5, 8 gigs of RAM, 500 gig hard drive. Iris graphics or Iris Pro graphics if you can afford it, and I think probably a 14 or 15-inch screen.
Okay.
Gaming is the most challenging. Everything else is easy. It's the gaming that's you're gonna have to, But if it's just Minecraft, that's easy. It's if he wants to get a little more, start downloading higher end games, it could be an issue.
Okay.
All right. What a nice parent you are. But think of it as an investment because he's going to be the next Bill Gates, and you can retire early.
Yes, that's the plan. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for the call. Enjoy the holidays. Stan in Temecula, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Stan.
Hello, Leo.
Welcome.
My daughter is looking for a computer for college. Her other one got stolen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was wondering if you know what's going to be available Cyber Monday. In listening to you and your previous callers, I assume I want something with an i5 processor.
Yeah, the prices don't really, they're as low as they're going to go this year right now.
Okay.
You're not going to see any magic deals appear on Monday.
Okay. Then she's been looking at Asus and
Asus, ASUS is very good. ACER is also very good. Acer offers lower price. They really are trying to be, they're like the Vizio of laptops and desktops. They're trying to be aggressive on price but still providing good quality. Some of their stuff is too cheap. I wouldn't go, I wouldn't get the cheapest things they make.
She was looking for a touch screen.
Yeah, and that's going to add a little to the price, but she's right. For Windows 8 and Windows 8.1, the current operating system, you do really want touch if you can get it. So,
and what would you recommend in say the 600? Dad's budget can probably go to 7.
Oh, I think you're going to have some good choices in the Dell is going to be. I like Dells a lot. You probably gathered that.
Okay.
They're pretty consistent.
Okay.
And I think Asus, AUS is also very good. It's just a little harder to, the Dells you're going to buy online. I wouldn't recommend going to a big box store. I would say just go online and buy the Dell. You're going to get the best price.
Okay.
And, I'll give you the names that I like. Dell, Asus, Lenovo. Those are really good names. Generally speaking, Lenovo's the higher end Lenovo's are good for business. Dell is good all around, and you're going to go by price basically. Get the best you can afford.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's interesting. This is everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing this. This is the time of year. I should have just one. I just put on the webpage, say, buy this one. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I can't, though. Yeah. I don't generally want to recommend Newegg to somebody. I think they want to go to a all-in-one place with good support. I've had good results with the Acers. I have an Acer S7 that's been very reliable. I buy from Newegg all the time, and I would probably buy it from Newegg. But see, these are novice users. I'm not sure. Yeah, the VivoBook is cheap, and it's not bad. That's not bad. It's cheap. Yeah, this would be a good choice. Something in this ballpark.
Did you know Amazon's now charging more for some products?
Really?
Yeah, like Apple's.
Huh. You'd think people would be smart enough to shop around, huh?
Stupid, they're charging 10% more.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I liked it. I've always been happy with Dells. This is their new lower end touch. Very low end on memory. 2 gigs is too low, and it's the Intel HD graphics. Let's go a little higher on this. Say premium design. It's really what you want to get if you can afford it as an XPS. But see how much more expensive these are. These really are better in general. I feel sorry for people. What I really want to say, and I just don't feel like I can say it, is don't spend that so little. You need to spend more. Because generally speaking, something that's $400 or $500 is usually not very good. Yeah, they're that cheap. Yeah. I would always prefer an XPS. Always get the pro grade over the consumer grade. Same thing with Lenovo. They have some really crap low end stuff. There you go. Let's see what Anand says. I trust Anand. Best gaming laptops and notebooks holiday 2013. Let's put this in the show notes. See what they say here. Budget under $1,000. See, this is the problem. They consider this budget, and it's $800, right? And I agree. That's not a bad one. First choice. But see, that's $800 is more than everybody's said.
Are those keys?
They're red backlit. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Kind of demonic.
And then gaming notebooks are talking $1,000 to $1,500, right? And these are kind of oddball brands like Gigabyte, Clio. Yeah. So the least expensive one they have is $800. These are gaming. So let's look at gaming laptop. Oh, this is all gaming. Yeah. I don't know what to say. There's no good answer, unfortunately. I don't like HP or Toshiba. That's why I don't mention them. Nobody has offered me lunch. Usually by now they've offered me lunch. No, sorry for you. No, I have. That's why I pay people. I know. I don't understand it. Well, they kind of cut back on the staffing here on the weekends. There used to be a lot of people here. Now there's no one here.
Are you Scrooge now? But Leo, I have a son and he has a lame leg and a crutch. You still have to work.
She is kidding.
someone not get that reference to Dickens?
See, I knew she was teasing me. Yeah.
I'm going to go over and get a soda. Do you want me to get you salad or something?
No, thanks. Yep.
She didn't get the tree?
She did. She didn't drive it home on the Mustang.
Right.
They're delivering it. She said, they red tagged it. I don't think so. She said, kidding. Took 4 guys to carry it. They deliver it tonight with a stand that holds water. I thought you would like it and I could do this for us. Yeah. She's a sweetheart. She's the best.
Hey, what's that?
See? See? That's what they get paid for. I would like a delicious large clam chowder. Would you like some too, darling?
No, thank you so much.
You don't like it?
No, it's the best clam chowder I've ever had.
But you don't want any. Are you on a diet?
No, but I had half a crumb donut today. So
I didn't eat any donut.
I'll eat it later.
I just looked at it and I thought, if I eat this, Lisa will kill me.
She doesn't have to know. She's out Greece
No, she listens.
shopping.
She knows. Somehow she's like, she got eyes in the back of her head. She knows. She said, so we had, last night we had my birthday dinner. It was fabulous. I almost had caviar again. I said, no. So we had, they had a white, it was just as expensive as caviar. White truffle pasta. It was so good. So good. It was hugely expensive. This is at Sante. That was the starter. We shared that. And then we both had lobster. Yay. Lovely lobster out of the shell. Beautiful, delicious lobster. With sweet potato spätzle and Brussels sprout leaves. It was very good. And then for dessert, the chocolate souffle. It was so good. And she said, enjoy it. This is the last carbohydrate you're ever having.
She's evil.
No, I begged her to do this. I said, please make me work out.
But you know what.
Oh, Scooter X. Yes, Scooter X has the picture. Lisa posted pictures of the whole thing.
Oh, great.
This was such a good, I love this souffle. So she posted pictures from the whole trip, I thought. Maybe not. I thought she did. I guess that was on path. Yeah, there I am with my souffle. My birthday souffle. I know, Wireless 101. My mom and sister are both in Rhode Island. They're freezing their buns off. But it's beautiful here. We have beautiful weather. I was born in New York, Wireless 101, but we moved to Pawtucket when I was in kindergarten, and then lived in Providence until high school, till my sophomore year of high school. We moved to Santa Cruz from there. So I consider Providence my hometown.
Providence to Santa Cruz is a pretty big...
Yeah, I went to a all-boys school. You had to wear a necktie in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And then in 10th grade, I went to Santa Cruz High, where not only did I not have to wear a necktie, I pretty much didn't have to wear anything at all.
Flip-flops to class.
The girls were California and beautiful, and I'd never seen a girl before, so I wasn't sure what to make of it. It was quite interesting. Well, the only girl I'd seen was my sisters and my sister and my mother. I immediately fell in love with a redheaded goddess named Claire, who was wearing an itsy bitsy teeny weeny bikini at the pool. I still have that image burned in my brain. 1971. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. And it's time to talk computers and the internet, cell phones, home theater. Anything on your mind, anything you bought for Black Friday you want some help with. A lot of people shopping for computers. There are deals, but not, the problem with the computer industry is, and I started talking about this a little bit, the netbook killed them. People's expectation for the price of a computer dropped to $250 to $300. They can't make a good computer at that price. They can't. The netbooks were junk, but people got it in their minds. Oh, a good computer should be under $500, and so they sell them. But boy, the margins are razor thin. They don't provide much support because support's expensive. They skimp and cut corners wherever they can. Usually the screen quality's low on these. The resolution's very low, and so it's hard for me. I mean, when I hear people, and boy, I'm sympathetic. I understand you don't want to spend more than $400, $500 for a computer, but really, you get what you pays for. And a good computer is not that cheap. Period. You need to spend $800 to $1,000 for a decent computer, and a good computer is going to cost more like $1,000 to $1,500. That's the truth, and that's for a laptop, and that's the truth. And I wish it were otherwise, but the computer industry's cannibalized itself, and of course they can't cut prices much because they're already practically giving them away. And when I see, computers for $300, $250, it's, you're not going to get a quality product at that price. You're really not. And sometimes it's going to cause you more trouble than it's worth. But I understand. I mean, the economy's in the toilet. People can't afford more. The companies that I've mentioned, Dell and Lenovo and Acer and Asus, do make computers around $500 that are okay. I would not go much lower than that. I'm sorry to say, and I wish I had better news. It's like, can I get a car for $500? You can. Yes, you can. Would you want it? Probably not. Renee in Burbank, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Leo. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask your opinion today about what you think about the Samsung Chromebook. It's a Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Now, see, this is okay. So this is a little bit of an exception to what I was talking about. Yeah, Chromebooks are a very simple computer. Most often netbook priced. That is $200 to $400. They usually they're kind of like netbooks. But one of the reasons they can be cheap is they don't have Windows on them. When Microsoft charges for Windows, that adds significantly to the price of the computer. They are based on the Chrome OS that Google designed, and it's essentially the Chrome browser and not much else. Not much local storage. They often have very small storage, and that's because the whole idea is that your work will live in the cloud. Your applications will live in the cloud. In fact, the browser is your gateway to everything that you do. And in many cases, that's really fine. When I ask people, what do you want to do? I want to check my email. No problem. It's in the cloud. It's on Gmail. I want to browse the internet. Well, yeah, that's obviously in the cloud. Sometimes they say things like, I want to write stuff. There's great word processors, Google Docs, for instance, spreadsheets, PowerPoint style slide presentations. Word processor. They're not as good as the desktop versions. They're not as powerful. But for most people, they're more than enough. And so that's where you save some money. I think the Chromebooks are very good, as long as you understand what their limitations are. They're not a full operating system. You're not going to be able to run your Windows applications. They're for people who want mostly to do email, web surfing, maybe word processing, that kind of thing. Is that you?
Hey, that's totally me.
Yeah.
Now, that was not my first choice because I was one of these people that got, online on Black Friday, to look for a new laptop because my laptop had just died. So the timing was, pretty good. But that was not my first choice. This is actually like my third choice, and everything else was sold out.
Which one are you going to get, the Samsung?
Yes, the Samsung Chromebook.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. And what are they charging?
For this particular one, I wanted the 14, inch screen, and that was all sold out. So I had to go with the 11.6, but I'm using it for exactly what you were just stating. Yeah. Google Docs and, emails and things of that nature.
These are great for that, as long as you understand that if you're not online, there's a limited amount of things you can do. They have, for instance, offline Google Mail, but you'd have to remember to sync it up before you go offline. It's really for somebody who's almost always has internet access. So that's one thing.
Which is fine. That's fine. That's really going to work out very good for me.
There are other advantages to it. You don't have a lot of the hassles that a full-blown operating system would have. No security issues. Zero. If something goes wrong on it, you reboot and it refreshes itself, and it's as if it's back to the factory original specs. It automatically keeps itself up to date. So it's a very good choice for people who, students, people who don't need a computer for a lot of demanding stuff. They basically want an internet device. This is, I think, a good choice. And at $250, wow. So that's the exception. The problem is that people tell me, I want to do gaming. My son has to use Microsoft Office. You know, they have these needs, and it's very, now this is going to be more like a netbook. It's not going to have the best quality screen. It's not going to have the best quality keyboard. So if you can, I would go use it just to make sure you can live with the trackpad and so forth. But Google's done, I think, a good job of making something that is affordable because of the limited constraints of what it does. And I think this is a very good choice, frankly. And so that's the one exception. It's a good, the Chromebook, as long as you understand the limitations and you can live within them, and it sounds like you can, is a very good choice. Any of the Chromebooks.
Great. Well, yes, I did my research, and I'm a big fan of Google. So I think, after speaking to you, too, I feel very good about my purchase.
Yeah.
So,
you already got it. Well, it's a good thing I liked it, isn't it?
I did, because, at the rate I was going, I was afraid that was going to sell out, too. And,
they do. They sell out very, very quickly. It's the #1 laptop on Amazon.com. These are very popular.
Yeah, that's exactly where I ordered it from, too.
So really, it's kind of the second part of what I was talking about. If you want a full-blown computer with a full-blown operating system, you need to spend $800 or $900. But if your needs are simple, if you don't need all of that, then you can get an inexpensive computer. It's just that most people don't say, "Oh, they don't. I'm willing just to do what a browser can do." They want to do more. I love this for people who want to stay secure too. I mean, this is a very secure operating system.
All right.
So enjoy, Renee. You've cracked the conundrum of how do you get an inexpensive computer. These are not bad at all. Kimberly, I wish, though, I have to say, I do wish that there were more of a mid-range. These are the very low-end $250 ones. Google makes a $1,500 Chromebook. They'll call it the Pixel. I wish there was something in the middle, a $500 or $600 one that had a little bit better quality. Then that would be something I could easily recommend. Kimberly in Maui, you're next. Ooh, I'm jealous. Hi, Kimberly. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Aloha.
Tell me it's snowing, it's raining, it's horrible weather.
Well, it is windy.
We have a little gust.
It's called partly cloudy and partly sunny.
Oh, it's partly cloudy in paradise. Well, all right.
But the first thing I want to say is how ole la hadao.
What does that mean?
Happy birthday.
Oh, say it again.
How ole la hadao.
How ole la hadao.
Hadao.
Hadao. Happy birthday to me. Well, thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
And you're a class of 71 Santa Cruz boy. I'm a class of 72 SoCal girl.
Oh, we hated SoCal High. Yeah, actually, I moved there in 71. I'm class of 73. So we were there right about the same time.
You Santa Cruz people, you were all full of trouble. You were the nice kids at SoCal.
No, SoCal, they were the nice kids. That's why we didn't like you at all. But I'm not going to judge you. Hang on the line. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk more, Kimberly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Mahalo. Now I got Don on the line in Dana Point, California. Hi, Don. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Quick update. Wanted to let you know that Costco's service has been outstanding when I've had computer issues and had to replace them. I realize that they don't carry the latest and greatest, but if you're looking for outstanding service.
Yeah, they do stand behind their stuff, don't they? Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is about using Sandboxy, which is a software program to help combat CryptoLocker.
It does work.
And, okay, I was just wondering about the use of multiple sandboxes. Have you had any experience with them or any?
I don't use Sandboxy, but we did, in fact, hear from a guy who uses it and tried to infect his computer with CryptoLocker. He had a sample, and Sandboxy did protect him. The idea of Sandboxy, this is a program that you put on your computer, and it sandboxes the applications. That is, puts them, and the key one is the browser, of course. That's how stuff gets in. But it puts it in a protected space that cannot change your computer, that can only change the sandbox. And CryptoLocker, which is a really nasty virus that's going on right now, what CryptoLocker tries to do is it comes usually as an email attachment, which you think is merely a PDF. It turns out to be an executable. And as soon as it runs, it encrypts your personal data, all your documents, with strong encryption. And you have to pay the bad guy a ransom, and you have to do it within 72 hours to get your data back.
Right, I understand. I'm especially interested in how it works with Outlook 2010.
It should work fine. You know, I don't have any experience with Sandboxy, but I've talked to people who have used it and are very happy. It's a very good idea. And Steve Gibson, our security guy, has vouched for the fact that it does work to protect you from CryptoLocker. Now, it is still absolutely vital, whether you use Sandboxy or not, to have a backup. Right? This does not replace the need to protect yourself, to be careful about what links you click. If you see an attachment, not to assume it's safe in email. That's a really big mistake. And you should always have backups of your data. If you had a backup, you know, the Swansea, Massachusetts Police Department got bit by CryptoLocker. The police department, and they paid the $300 to the bad guy because they didn't have a backup. They didn't have a backup. Now, if you have a backup, you just can thumb your nose at them, say, okay, fine, well, you got me, but I still have my data, and I'm just going to restore it from my backup. But so there's two things that happened to the Swansea Police Department they should be ashamed of. 3. 1, they didn't have security policies sufficient to protect themselves from getting bit in the first place. Now, I'll give them a pass on that because a lot of people try hard to protect themselves and still get bit by viruses. 2, having gotten bit, they violated their own precepts. Every police department in the world says, do not give these guys money. You're just encouraging it. Because 3, they didn't have a good backup of their data. And so they had to pay the guy. So, yes, it's fine to protect yourself. Antiviruses now do detect, including Microsoft's free Microsoft Security Essentials, will detect CryptoLocker and stop it cold. They won't stop you from opening the attachment, but they'll keep it from infecting your computer. Sandboxy will also do the same. But these things do not let you off the hook. You still you need to protect yourself by having good policies in the first place to prevent this kind of infection. Making sure you have the anti-malware software that will help as your second line of defense. And finally, as your final line of defense, you got to have a good backup. It must have been embarrassing for the Swansea Police Department to admit this. Yeah, we got bit. No, we don't have a backup. Then they said something like, but our security is still very good here. No, I don't think so. Jason in Tampa, Florida, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, wait a minute. We got Kimberly back. Okay. Kimberly, hang on. You'll be right after Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm well.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy new house. Happy Thanksgiving and happy giant donut.
You saw the giant donut. This was a gift, a birthday gift from the phone ranger. Heather Hammond brought me the world's largest donut. It's bigger than my head.
It's going to go straight to your hips.
I'm just applying it. Why even eat it? Just put it right on there.
Yeah, just rub it in and cut out the middleman. Yeah. Anyway, I just had a question. You've been talking about the Xbox One a lot today.
Love it.
And I don't know if this is a stupid question or not, but can you hook up, since the Xbox One will not play our old games, can you hook up an old Xbox 360 to it, HDMI or what?
Sure.
Yeah. And
so the way the Xbox One works is unlike any other video game system to date. The only other device I know that works like this is the Google TV, the old Google TV. It's what we call a pass-through. So instead of giving the Xbox One its own HDMI connection on the television or your AV receiver, what you do is you connect your cable box to the Xbox One in, and then you connect the Xbox One out to the TV. You watch TV, in effect, through the Xbox One, and that's what gives it some of these nice capabilities, the ability to watch live TV in the Xbox One interface, to snap live TV to the side of the screen, to have other stuff going on. It's a really elegant, I think, solution. But I think you're absolutely right. There's no reason why you'd have to pass live TV through the Xbox One. You could pass the Xbox 360 through the Xbox One.
Okay, I thought they might have been, kind of shifty and said, no.
Well, I haven't tried it, but I don't see any reason why you can't. The only issue would be the issue of lag. Inevitably, when you do a pass-through like that, there is some delay, and I don't know how much the delay is and whether it's significant enough to not do this. I mean, of course, you can have a TV with both an Xbox One and a 360 hooked up directly as well.
Sure,
yeah.
But the appeal of the Xbox One is it's the media center. It does everything, right? So short of shutting that down and then replugging in an HDMI and going over to your 360.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, you have it all. Try it and let me know. The only issue would be lag, and I don't know how much lag it introduces.
So you're not likely to try it and let us know.
Oh, yeah, okay, I will. I'll go home and try it. I do have an Xbox 360 lying around. I'll try it.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, keep listening. Yeah, I won't try it right now. I'll do it tomorrow.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know how you are with Final Cut. Maybe this is a forum question.
Go ahead and ask.
All right, I'll ask. I just shot something that had 3 camera teams on these big Panasonic ENGs, and I've got like 60 hours of footage to go through. Wow. Yes, I know. It was an entire weekend.
What did you shoot?
What was the project?
What was the event? Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Oh, top secret, huh?
It's kind of a secret, yeah.
Hang on the line, and when we come back, we'll find out, and we'll talk to you, Kimberly. Don't go away. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
He wants me to shill for Sony, Ryder.
Here's the reason I'm not as crazy about the PS4. It doesn't add any capabilities. So you might as well just stick with your PS3 until there's a game that you have to have on the PS4, and then it might be worth looking at. I think there's no urgency to buy a PS4 because it's just an incompatible PS3, basically. Xbox One does a lot more. I was a little disappointed. I just expected more out of the PS4. It's a better controller. Oh, good. I did miss it. But if you're a big PlayStation gamer, I think that would be not an unreasonable thing. What is going on?
Support for NPR comes from Westlaw Next, featuring access to the West Search legal search engine. Learn the differences at westlawnext.com.
Yeah, you're buying the future with the PS4, but you can wait to buy the future.
Yahoo.com has acquired a new star. Katie Couric will join the company as its new global anchor. She joins a number of other high-profile journalists. Yahoo also earlier this year bought the popular microblogging site Tumblr. Now, what do all these purchases and appointments mean for a company that many people still think of as a search engine, an email service, or a homepage? What is Yahoo? Jeff Jarvis is a media analyst and professor at the City University of New York, the Graduate School of Journalism there, and he joins us from our studios in New York. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Scott.
So what has Yahoo bought? What's it trying to become?
We're not sure yet. Marissa Meyer...
Not going to have time. I'm not. Prince of Persia. That's an awesome game. Thanks, Beatmaster. Here's a link from Kotaku. You can play an Xbox 360 through an Xbox One. It's Gameception.
We've been checking out new console features all week, so of course there's the one way you can watch cable on your console through an HDMI input. So it was inevitable.
Thank you. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Happy holidays to you. And I'm looking at an article on Kotaku.com about running an Xbox 360 through an Xbox One. It apparently works fine. You can also run a Wii U through an Xbox One and play Wii games on your Xbox One. So there isn't a lot of lag. We were talking with Jason in Tampa. So there you go. The Kotaku article, we'll put that in the show notes at techguylabs.com. It is doable.
It is doable. Okay, yeah, you got the 7-second delay, so I'm trying not to.
Yeah, don't listen to the radio. It's actually 40 seconds.
Is it 40 seconds?
Yeah, you'll get my answer tomorrow.
Yeah, I can see that guy playing with the.
It's very confusing.
I'll watch it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. They did it so I don't have to, okay?
That's it.
Thanks, Jason. Hey, Kimberly's back. Hey, Kimberly, Leo Laporte, wait a minute. Oh, don't hold that.
Here.
Hold that. You're still there. So I'm going to press X on that, and I'm going to say hello. Hello, Kimberly. Sorry about hanging up on you.
Yeah.
All this technology stuff, I'm new to it, and I don't really understand it, so
it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
So one good thing about being on hold for a while is you answered a lot of my questions.
Good. We try to do that. We're hoping that everybody's problems will be solved by the time I get them on the air.
But I still have problems.
Oh, rats.
I have had a terrible, terrible week.
Oh, no.
I broke my laptop screen, and the laptop's only 14 months old.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a Dell, and it's a high-end one because I'm a professional photographer. So
got it.
There's no fooling around with going with another cheap one. So fix is going to be $498, and that's about all I can spend right now.
That's a lot of money.
It is, but to get...
Now, you know that you could not fix it and just hook up an external monitor, and it wouldn't be a portable anymore, but you could still use it.
Absolutely. But I do need a portable. I have a desktop, and that's where I do all my processing on. But I take my laptop to hotels and locations to show everything through an HDMI onto a TV screen.
Got it. Now, you could still do that even without a screen on the laptop. It'd be ugly.
Yeah.
You'd have to hook it up via HDMI to the TV before you could do anything.
Right. And I have to make sure that I can see that TV from where the laptop...
That seems like an awful lot of money for your repair.
It does seem like a lot.
What kind of computer, what kind of laptop was it?
It's a Dell, and it's a Vistro.
Yeah, Vostro.
Vostro. I spent about $1,200 for it a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've been going around and around with Dell about it. I like Dell, but
are you having them replace the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so a third-party laptop screen repair might save you some money. There used to be one that's all they did. I'm trying to, maybe somebody will know this in the chat room. Used to be a company that all they did was replace laptop screens. They were like really good at it. I think Dell is overcharging you.
I think so too.
Because the screen, the part itself is not expensive, and the time involved is not long either.
Yeah, what I did is I had a mouse sitting on the keyboard, and I closed the screen onto the mouse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ow! So we know that everything's working except you've cracked the screen.
Yeah, well, it's not cracked. There's just a big black spot with a lot of graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did have our local computer guy look at it, and he goes, screen's dead.
Yeah, well, that's right. But all you really need to do is open up the laptop and replace the screen. You know, some cases it's easy to do. You could do it by yourself for the cost of the part. But it seems to me Dell is charging you, as often case with big companies like this, just kind of a flat rate. Like whatever it is you need, we're just going to charge you $500. Because it's
and I said, well, what if it ends up? They said, well, this is just the cost of, that's an estimate. And I go, well, what if it does? And you have to pay ahead of time. I go, well, what if it doesn't cost me that much? Well, then we'll let you know. And I go, well,
so they may, so they're charging you that, but they may not charge you that amount.
yeah, but they probably will once they've got my money.
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Because the part is probably $150 at most. Yeah. And then if it's an hour of a text time, that means it should be about $250. It shouldn't be more than that.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
If you can come up with somebody who knows.
I used once a company, and I maybe they're out of business now. I don't know. It was about 5 years ago. They'd send you a box. You'd send them the laptop. They'd turn it around in 48 hours, and they would do it on almost any laptop. They just replace the screen, and because that's all they do, it's very quick and easy, and it was very affordable. And I just can't remember the name, and apparently nobody in the chat room can either.
And the other question regarding that is, what do I remove as far as data and information from my laptop if I were to...
Well, assume that you're not going to get that drive back. So because often what they do is they just swap. And so whenever you send in whenever you send in a computer for any reason for repair, always make a copy of the hard drive, because you may, in fact, I would wipe the hard drive because you may not get it back.
I have programs on there that I don't have the software for it anymore. And I would have to buy all new software.
So you need to make what's called an image copy of the hard drive.
Okay.
And that will save that entire drive, and then when you get the computer back, if it's not, and probably won't be the way it was, because even if they don't swap out the computer, they're probably going to restore the hard drive to the way it came from the factory, and which means that you will lose everything. So always assume that. Sometimes you're lucky and it doesn't happen, but always assume it. So what I would do is I would make an image copy of the hard drive. A lot of different companies can do that. I
have a company here that can do it.
Yeah, if you've got somebody who'll do it for you, that's a good idea. There are programs like Drive Image that will do that. There are lots. It's a clone of the drive.
Right.
So Drive Image XML is from runtime.org. That's an excellent free program that will do that. And you'll need an extra drive, but you'll clone it.
Right.
And then when you get it back, you can restore it just the way it was. Boy, I just cannot. I suspect this company's no longer in business. That was all they did. It was great. My kids frequently smashed laptop screens, and and it was nice to be able to send it into them, and they were very quick and easy. And I have a feeling they're out of business, frankly. But Wireless 101 says it's Screen Tech Inc. I don't think that's the name, but that is one of several companies that just specialize in this. They replace laptop screens. It might be worth, let's put this in the show notes anyway, techguylabs.com. Might be worth at least calling them and seeing how much they would charge for replacing a Vostro screen. It shouldn't be that much. It's the part plus some small amount of labor. A lot of people just go on eBay, buy the part, and do it themselves. I don't know with that Vostro how hard it is to do. I'm sorry, Kimberly. Thank you, and have a great holiday in Maui. I'm jealous. What do you take pictures of? What kind of photography?
Are you still there?
Yeah, what kind of photography do you do?
Oh, God, I lost you for about 5 minutes.
No, I put you on hold, but does that lose the audio? You didn't hear anything I said?
I heard nothing.
Well, that's good to know. Hang on the line. I'll tell you what I said off the air. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. One of these days, I want to understand how computers work. So apparently, I didn't know this. When I turn off the pot, here, it kills. So Kimberly, you hear me now, right?
Yes, I can.
And then so tell me, do you hear me when I do this? Can you continue? Do you still hear me, or is there nothing there? Did I cut off there for a bit?
Yeah, you did. You cut off.
I am so sorry. I didn't know this, and all this time I've been doing this. I think they changed how this works, Alex. Line 1 and line 2? It's any line. If I turn off the pot, it no longer feeds it into. Not me. I'm turning her off.
Right. Because I know how it was, is that they just hear programs.
Yeah. Used to be. And she can hear me now. But as soon as I turn that off, she can't. We're gonna work on that. I apologize, Kimberly. So what I said was we're gonna put in the show notes a link to this company, Screen Tech, SCREENTEK Inc.com, and I would just call them and get a quote.
Okay.
And at least you'll have some idea of what a that's what they do, laptop screen replacement. You'll get some idea of what a laptop screen replacement would cost if you went to a third party.
Okay, that sounds good.
And then the other thing I said is make an image of your disc, and we'll put a link in the show notes as well for that. Oh, here's a company, laptopscreen.com.
Okay.
That does have a Vostro replacement. Laptopscreen.com.
Laptopscreen.com. Okay.
Yeah. So I think Dell's overcharging you, and I think you can do it for less. I also think if you send it to anybody, whether it's Dell or anybody else, you should have a copy, an exact copy of that hard drive before you send it, let it out of your possession.
But do I remove, like, my documents and all of that?
Yeah, you could remove it ahead of time or not, depending on how private you needed it to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they do look at it, and, sometimes technicians steal your music just to see if there's anything on there they want.
Right.
So if you're at all worried about that, I would back up the hard drive and then erase it.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I have one more thing because I think it was a real bad week. My Samsung TV that's less than 2 years old, it was on all night, which often is the case, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and there is weird stuff spazzing out with it. I thought maybe it was the cable, but it's not the cable because I rebooted everything, and it's spazzing out on me. It just has all these lines, and you can't see the screen very well.
Uh-oh.
I tried all different settings, and I think it's dead. But why? It seems strange that it would happen while it's running like that.
Yeah, it can happen.
Oh.
It can happen. I mean, it's, TVs today are just like, they're really computers. And just as that could happen to a computer, it could happen to a TV.
Yeah, I shut off the TV for probably an hour. And
still didn't get better?
And I unplugged the cable. And it's coming through on cable.
Do you have a guy who does that kind of stuff to come out and look at it? Because a lot of times with these TVs, it's just a power supply or some little daughter board got messed up. But it does sound like something bad happened. How old is it?
It's less than 2. It's like 2 years old.
And it's just lines. You can't see any picture through it. It's just messed up.
You can see some picture. You can see picture.
A little bit.
But you can see picture, but it's like, who wants to watch TV?
Yeah. Does it look like? Is it? Are the lines moving, or are they? Are the lines?
Take a video.
Are the lines moving, or are they still, or is it like a
They're moving.
They're moving. It's not like a stained glass window. They're moving. So it's digital.
Scattering.
Yeah.
It's scattering and spazzing out.
Yeah, I think something probably went wrong with it, and that's something for a repair guy. I got to run. I'm sorry, Kimberly.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry. What a bad day.
Yeah, well, it happens. Thank you.
All right, take care. All righty, bye-bye. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, wearing his Christmas finery. Dick DeBartolo, Mad's maddest writer, and the Gizwiz, our computer geek Gadget hound. Hello, Dickie D. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, happy birthday. I'll have to add it in.
Thank you. Happy birthday to me.
Yes, exactly. So with all your callers, I have to ask you, did I get a good buy? I'm playing phone and call.
Oh, okay. What did you buy?
Okay. All right. So Dennis wanted a new computer. And I thought, well, we'll see if we can do one of these weird Friday things. So I got a Dell 660 with an i5 chip, terabyte of memory, 8 gigabytes of RAM, Intel HD graphic card, Windows 8, $425.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great deal.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
That's a great deal. It's a desktop. See, desktops are a little easier to make, less expensive because they're not as finely engineered. That sounds like a very good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So the Pope had said it was great, but I said, Dennis, the Pope.
Forget the Pope.
We need Leo.
What does he know? No, that's good. Those Inspirons are nice. I like the Dells. And where did you get that?
At Staples.
Oh, that's good. No, I think that's probably a very good deal.
Excellent. Excellent.
And it's a lot, and it's a nice system, a terabyte of drive and 8 gigs of RAM.
And there were no crowds. I waited less than 50 seconds.
People, Black Friday and office supplies, they don't usually go together.
That's exactly it. Yeah. That's exactly it. It was the first time that they opened late Thursday night, and I went and said, "Are you open?" Yeah. So anyway.
So Dick usually brings some fun gadgets along with him.
Yes. Well, now that people are buying 3D printers, a company that makes 3D printers, Cubify, has the Sense 3D handheld scanner.
I saw a video you made of this where they scanned your head.
They can scan, the lady said they can scan anything up to 10 by 10 feet. I don't know what kind of printer you need to do that. You could buy one piece of furniture and just scan the other 5 chairs.
I was really disappointed, though. They scanned your head, but they didn't print it.
No, they did not.
I would have loved a print of your head. Well, so this thing looks like, it's weird. It's got a handle.
Yeah.
And you go around, you went around your head.
They go around 3 times. They start up around the hairline, which she kept saying, could you point to where your handline would
Where would that be? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And then they go down around nose level and then down around neck level. And then it takes the software about a minute for it to stitch the image together. And you're doing this, you're sending the image to, she was doing it to an iPad.
It was uncanny, really. I mean, it really,
yeah. And she spins the head all the way. I looked like The Exorcist. My head could spin in any direction, endless amounts of time. But you don't need a 3D printer. So what you could do is you could go to Cubify.com. You could download that image, and then you would pick out.
Oh, they'll print it.
Yes, they'll print it. You would pick out. She said there are dozens of. You can have it done in metal, different kinds of plastic.
So did you? Are you going to get a metal picture of your head?
God save us, no.
I would like to have that for the times you can't be here.
Next year's birthday. Now I know what you want.
I'll put it on the desk, make it life-sized.
Yeah, and maybe they could make the mouth like a bobblehead mouth.
Oh, that'd be good.
So that you could just hit it, and I could say whatever you wanted to say. Exactly. And that guy's going to be available at Cubify.com and coming to Staples also at $399.
Now, $399.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is that they think that this is enough consumer demand for 3D modeling and printing that they're selling it at Staples.
No, absolutely. I did ask when I was there. I said, "Do you know about when this is coming?" And the manager of the store said, "No, we just know it's coming, but we don't have a date yet."
If you have an iPhone or an iPad, there is a product called 123D Catch that is similar. I mean, it doesn't. It's from Autodesk. I saw what yours did, and it was much more accurate. But 123D Catch is a lot cheaper. It's free.
Yeah, but look at what I look like in that.
It's not as good, but what it does is you take lots of pictures around somebody's head, and then it turns them into a 3D model. So it's kind of the same idea. It's fun to play with. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Yeah. 123D Catch.
And only for iOS.
It's iOS, and it's free.
Only. Okay.
It's
free. Great.
So it's kind of. I mean, yours was really complete and beautiful. This varies. I've tried it in various environments, and it works sometimes better than others. But it's kind of a neat idea. I don't know if you can print somebody's head from it. But it's kind of
from the free app. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there I am.
Yeah, that's you. They added hair later. Yeah, it's very nice. Dick DeBartolo is at gizwiz.biz. That's his website, gizwiz.biz. If you go there, you can play the What the Heck Is It contest, a chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine from Dickie D. The current contest goes for another month.
Yeah, and you'll win the February issue, and I finally put the cover was revealed on Friday.
This is a big event, isn't it? They get
yes, it is.
They get the mayor of New York City comes out. They do it in Times Square.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's is the tree up in 30 Rock? It probably is.
The tree, I'm not sure it's up. I think it's December 7th. But that's another thing that has gotten so out of control. You can not get anywhere near the tree. People line up for 8 and 10 hours, and it's ridiculous. Even if you can see it, they go click, and you go, ooh.
There's too many people in the world. That's the problem.
That's it. Yeah. That must be it.
Yeah, and I like the cover, the February Mad magazine, which features Miley Cyrus twerking to a Beetlejuice suit-clad Alfred E. Newman.
Yes, exactly.
That is very timely, as always, with Time magazine. And it's your 20 dumbest moments of 2013.
Exactly. Yeah. And Mad Magazine, too.
That was 10 of the 20 right there. That event.
That's right
there. Thanks, Dick D. Stick around.
Okay.
The Fizz Giz is coming up.
It is.
It is. And more of Dickie D on the podcast network right after this. Dick, of course, does a podcast about gadgets called The Giz Wiz every Tuesday on this network, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, twit.tv. Well, should I take another call and see who else I can't help? Aaron in Tustin, California. You're next. Hi, Aaron. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. I know we don't have much time left, so I'll keep it quick.
Okay.
So yesterday, I spent most of the day building my younger brother a video editing rig, a desktop.
Oh, that's cool.
But, of course, last week, he also broke the laptop he was using. It was a little netbook.
What is wrong with people? Everybody's breaking their computers. Okay.
Yeah, so, but what I want to talk to you about is, walking around in all the stores and, online and whatnot, there's interesting kind of this, $200 to $300 range where you've got these kind of tablets that are also Windows PCs that are also Android tablets.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk to you. I even saw Walmart. There was a, quad-core tablet for $120. And which is,
that's got to be good. What could be wrong with that? It's got 4 cores. I would say the best tablet at sub $300, the best tablet out there is probably Google's Nexus 7. Very nice Android tablet with a beautiful screen for $229. Another very good choice is the Kindle Fire HDX.
Yeah. Well, what I'm looking for something a little bit kind of a crossover tablet because I still want. He still needs to be able to
He's got to do his video editing,
Word documents and stuff.
Yeah.
No, he's doing the video on the desktop, but what he needs is something where that's got a keyboard that he can, maybe with a USB port that he can transfer, with a USB stick. And I also wanted something that can play some videos, when he makes the videos, he can show it to people on the tablet or the little laptop.
It sounds like an iPad, I'm afraid, and that's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at the Intel Bay Trail. There were a few that came out before Black Friday, but I hear that there's more coming out in 2014. Do you think?
Well, that's just a processor, and then somebody's got to put it together. And you get what you pay for. $129 tablet is junk.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I didn't get it.
Junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be Android because then you don't have to worry about the cost of the operating system. But it's also may lack the software you need if you want video editing software. The nice thing is Apple does have excellent video editing software on its platform on the.
Yeah, I don't need the video editing on the tablet.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just something kind of like surfing email and stuff. But I figure, why spend $300 to $400 on something that's not a touch screen that doesn't have a lot of the the handy apps that Android comes with.
Right. There are some, maybe somebody's suggesting, I think this is probably your best bet. It's a Windows 8 tablet, the Dell Venue 8. Very inexpensive, but it is Windows, and it's nice. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows and Windows Weekly, Macintosh and Mac Break Weekly, iPad and iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.